son of a bitch.
Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Because you are my friend.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Super Enabler Bros. This is episode 28, and as always, I'm accompanied by my excellent co-host, Chris, the old ass retro gamer.
What's
How you doing,
up? Hey, hey.
And we've got not one, but two extra special guests this episode. The Retro Rivals. How's it going, guys?
It's good. I'm
Good.
so happy you invited us on episode 28 because that's how old I am.
Sweet. Well,
That's a lie.
we
I can't.
were going to run with it.
Yeah.
29.
They're gonna let you get away with it.
You revealed yourself. That was me. Oh, we're happy
Are we going to be talking about the Pinocchio movie this episode?
Yeah.
You see your nose start going?
I did watch it.
I haven't seen it yet because I love Tom Hanks, and people are like, "That movie sucks," and I'm like, I don't want to stop loving Tom Hanks, so I'm just not gonna watch it.
Yeah, I haven't bothered yet.
Yeah.
Well, the kids and my wife, I think, is what the driving force was there, but we watched it.
Yeah.
But anyway, before we go any further, how about you guys introduce yourselves? Tell us a bit about you if someone's not familiar with your channel. So.
Sure.
Go ahead there, talker.
So we're Retro Rivals. People remind us frequently we very rarely play retro games. So
I play lots of retro
you do.
games.
I've played
You're
more.
a
Than,
PS4
I
girl.
played more than I have any other year
Yeah.
this year. We should have called our channel just Fun and Games because that's literally what we do. We
Yep.
have fun. We play
Play
games,
games.
We drink beer.
Yeah.
That's pretty much us in a nutshell. And
Well,
then we banter back and forth. Sometimes I'm right, and the other times Scott's wrong, like all the times. But yeah,
Well,
he knows.
Yes, dear.
Yes,
Well-
dear.
well,
See,
at least it kind of says what you do in the name of yours. Mine just kind of deters people because they're like, that just sounds scary. So,
course.
you guys got a leg up on me, so that's awesome. Well,
And everyone's
yeah.
when they see my name, they think that I'm going to be in like some retirement home playing like Pong machines and stuff.
No, that's Dennis. He'll be there.
Someone will walk in front and step on the cord and unplug your controller.
I thought you were going to say his life support.
What are you doing?
All right. Anyway, so what have you guys been up to? What have you been doing? What have you been watching? What have you been playing lately? We'll start with you guys.
Start with us. Well,
Yeah.
besides Jen doing all those paintings, we've
finally got
been
that done.
playing a lot of games, a lot
Mostly
of multiplayer.
co-op, yeah.
Couch co-op stuff. We actually have a foursome now where we play games, the four of us.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
We got
yeah.
another
Scandalous.
Right? And I play couch co-op game with my son. Me and him started last week. I think it's called The Ascent. I think it's on
yes.
Game Pass.
It's a pretty cool
Yeah.
game. I played
It's
a little bit
pretty
of it.
cool.
What were you trying to play?
Oh, I got the Master Chief Collection, and we were trying to play, I think, Halo 2. And it just kept. It was a damn nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Like I got the disc, we had installed it before, and for whatever reason, it had to do an update, and it was a freaking huge update.
Oh yeah, that thing takes a hefty chunk of
Oh.
the hard drive.
Oh yeah, so we usually schedule ourselves to play like Saturday afternoon. So we come down, we pop, turn the machine on, and like it's updating. What the hell? And it's gonna take like friggin' forever. So
Right.
we're pissed off. We're like, whatever, we'll play tomorrow. We come down and we start playing it the next day.
Still on.
And no, it was
Another
actually
update?
no, it was play. We started to play, but then the fucking game started freezing, locking up, and we had to reset it twice. And we're like, we're done with this. We're done.
Yeah.
And then we started. We said, okay, we're gonna play the Ascent.
That's no fun. My son, I wanted to play Halo Infinite, and
Mhm.
I was like, I haven't played 5 yet, so I really got to play 5. So I started playing 5 one day, and he saw me playing that, and I totally forgot that that's the only Halo Halo Infinite now, But that was the only Halo that didn't have split screen co-op. And I'm like, yeah, go grab a controller. And then while he was running to grab one, I'm like, fucking Halo 5.
Well, that's when you just tell him, how old is your son?
He's 6.
Oh, so old enough
knows-
to know
he knows
better,
enough,
because
yeah.
we used to just set Alex up with a controller when he was little. And you're like,
Yeah.
you're doing a good job, buddy. You're
playing.
that guy. You're that guy on the screen.
Like,
That
I'm
guy's
dead.
not even in the game. He's just, yeah.
Yeah.
My guy's been laying there dead for 3 minutes.
My brother,
Taking a nap.
my brother still sends me every time he sees a meme of that to me and
Yeah.
goes, "You dick." Because I did that to him when he was little.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You're doing, aren't I doing awesome, bud? I'm like, oh, you're the best.
The best
Meanwhile,
at
it's
this
me,
game.
well, it's me hide my controller. Yeah, you're doing awesome. Then as soon as he's not looking. So,
Meanwhile, never learned any of those controls because I just mashed them.
I don't know
Oh
if
my
you
God.
guys had seen, we call it Dennis's TED Talk, where we were all
God.
playing Uncooked there, and
Yeah,
it got a little
Overcooked.
overcooked. Yeah, sorry, overcooked, and we got a little. It got a little heated in here.
Oh, that's not even the best part. Like, I didn't even get to film the best
Oh,
of
no.
that stuff because Dennis was like, I told you. He goes, here. And I can't, like, I'm laughing my ass off because I'm like, this is funny. And Rachel's on the other chair going, let's just continue fucking it up because this is a great day. And that's what we did. We just kept
Oh, fuck
working.
Me and
around.
Dennis
They're
were
the
just
best.
losing our minds there.
Oh, you were like the worst chef in the kitchen.
What?
You were the worst.
No, give me that bullshit.
You- No, like,
No.
you were like
No.
having to work for Gordon Ramsay in Hell's Kitchen because he'd be like, why are you over on my side? Get back over on your side. And every
it's
time,
raw.
I'm like, he wouldn't give you plates unless I come over and give you the plates. He'd get really mad.
You're in the
Luckily, we're still married, so. But we hadn't
yes,
finished
you were
the game.
lucky. You were lucky.
There's so many mushrooms in this dish, it's asking if the princess is in another castle.
Yeah, so we've been doing that. We played Trine.
Yeah, I've played
First
trying.
Trine 4.
Yeah.
I played my game that I was like, I don't know if I can do Backlog Roulette because I'm still playing the game. But I did finish it. I was playing Cold Fear on the Xbox. Yeah. I wanted to play it on Xbox. We have it on PS2. I went to grab the game because we just recently alphabetized most of our games. Like loosely alphabetized. If it's a C, it just goes in there. So I looked through them all. I was like, okay, no, it's not there. So we have another shelf over here of just like above our controller wall. It's like mostly survival horror. So I was like, it's got to be over there then. And I scroll. I'm like, no, shit, we didn't have it. Like, so we went to.
That actually happened twice, I think.
Yeah.
In 1 or 2 weeks where I thought I had a game in my collection, and I went to go grab it, and it's not there.
Oh, yeah, I've
Yeah,
been
when
there
I went game hunting lately with Tiger Chainsaw through Wisconsin,
Yeah.
and he was actually looking for that game and couldn't find it. And then I went back to Wisconsin the following month, and we went to one of the same stores we had gone to with him, and it was sitting right there for the Xbox.
Yeah.
And I took a picture of it. I was like, "You want me to get it for you?" He's like, "No."
But you know what? That always happens when you're looking for a game. You can't
Yeah,
find
I
it.
find it.
And
As soon as
then
you get
when
it-
you get it, there's 10 other copies. And they're all
Yeah.
cheaper than what you paid for it.
Oh yeah.
that game, not a common game I hear anyone talk about.
Yeah.
But I went from not having it to having like 3 copies of it within like 2 months. I'm like, was there a fire sale on Cold
Yeah,
Fear in the
on
last
Cold Fear.
bit on PS2? Like
Yeah.
I don't.
And
I
it's
still don't
It's
think I have it on
expensive
Xbox.
on PS2.
Yeah.
Xbox, pretty affordable. PS2, wow. So
Yeah,
I was
that's what I
happy we
had
already
before
had the
is the-
PS2 one, right?
Yeah, I have the PS2 one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's random. It's a good game though. I really liked it when I played. Like that's the one where you're on the boat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
could really
and you got to
use
get
a
used to the
remake.
swing.
Yeah.
So you got to get really good at aiming or timing your shots. That's
The aiming.
Yeah.
See, if I have the option in a game, I will put on auto aim because I just don't want to have to work that hard. And the fact that I could not.
it's one of my talents is the aiming. I'm
Oh.
Captain Headshots.
So I was like, bang, bang, run up, stomp your head into the floor. That was my move.
Shoot the kneecaps out.
Yeah, I
Like
didn't
the only
care.
person that's ever found combos in a survival horror game.
I didn't care where I hit him. I'm like, left,
You're
bicep,
dead.
right foot. He's on the ground. Any 2 shots will do.
Oh, that was
And
like
then
me
stomp his
playing.
head in the floor.
That was like me playing the remakes of Resident Evil 2 and 3, just barely even trying to kill any of the zombies because sometimes it would take 7 headshots. And you're like,
Oh, I
So
was
I would
so pissed off at that. I was like,
I just
I'm-
kneecap them, and while
Oh.
they're stumbling, then I just run by them. That's how I played that whole game.
Yeah.
I think
remember
at first, my first run through of 2, I kind of took my time a lot more and learned the layout, and was like trying to headshot. Then I was like, at the end, like I've got no ammo because I've been killing everything I come across. So I was like,
Really
I gotta
sucks too.
stop
When you
being
forget
Rambo.
your best weapon, then you
Yeah.
definitely have no ammo. 'Cause
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did that. I forgot my best
Well,
weapon.
remember the first time we played the remake of number 3, Resident Evil 3? I was
Oh
saying
my
we streamed
God.
it. That's
Yeah.
one of those handful of games that we streamed when we first got.
Yeah.
And I was pissed off because I was headshot like 2-3 headshots and ran and they weren't dropping. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is
Toughest
wrong with
zombies
this?
ever.
I'm like, this gun sucks. What's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah, they're just like, ugh. And you're
It's
like,
like, what do you
"Oh,
got, an
he's gonna fall,"
airsoft
and then
pistol?
he's just like, I'm
Wow.
Oh, BB gun?
It's a
Yeah.
friggin'
Killing
headshot.
zombies with BB guns?
Yeah, just airsoft
Tink,
and
tink, tink.
Nerf. It's Nerf or nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Go away, fly.
Yeah. So that's when after the first few that I like headshotted, and then I'd even fall down. I'm like, he's dead, and he's like,
He gets back up.
oh, I just needed to breathe there for a second.
Yeah.
And I get back up and like, what are you doing, bro?
I know you said Nerf gun, but unless you're getting hit with a rival Nerf gun, then maybe
Oh.
your zombie would fall to the ground because those are the balls.
You know,
And when we got that for our kid for
Yeah,
Christmas,
when we
one year,
got that, that's when we implemented the safety glasses rule.
yeah, we got him the shield. Dad would wear safety glasses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
you guys own stock in the company? It sounded like it was like a pitch. Like you guys.
Oh, I know.
I'm
If
looking
you're not
at both
using
my
the
eyes.
rival brand.
It does.
Retro rival brand.
Unfortunately, our kid destroyed it. A
Oh.
$70
He wanted to.
make it
He wanted
more
to.
powerful.
Yeah, he was.
He went to Tim Allen.
Tim
that
Allen.
shit.
there.
Oh.
More power.
Yeah.
So,
So I got I was bitter I'm still bitter.
oh yeah, I know.
I'm still bitter about it.
Oh yeah, there's been a couple things like that where I'm like, you just needed to see what it looked like inside, huh? That's not even 2 days old and you destroyed it. Wow.
Yeah, good job. Or the Christmas gift you get that they're like, I wanted that. I know I put that on my list, but can you please take it back? It sucks.
Yeah. You
I'm-
play for 2 minutes and they're like, huh,
Yeah.
just needed to know I got it. I'm never gonna play with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're never gonna play.
And then
it.
I'm like, I can't say anything because then I just look at my action figures. I'm like, yeah, some things
But
I
they
just need to
bring
know
you
I've got.
joy. They bring you
Yeah.
joy being on the shelf.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've said before, this is like how Superman has to like fly to the sun to like recharge his power. That's how I feel when I'm like having a shitty day and I just come out here and I'm just like,
Yeah.
all right, I can go on. I can go on.
Yeah, that's how we feel when we
Yeah.
come to the game room.
I'm ready for more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Recharges my spark.
It's almost impossible to be unhappy when you walk into a room with so many bright colors. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, game rooms are inherently the brightest room in anybody's house.
Yeah. it's pretty great.
I like it.
All right. So anything else you guys been playing or watching?
I had played 3 games. I had done a community pick there. Well, it must be over a month ago now, and people picked Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They played it.
he played it.
Also, there was Bayonetta 2 and Bullet Witch.
Bullet Witch.
on there.
Oh.
And they're all short games, so I ended up playing them all.
He's like, I'll play more.
Sweet. I think the only one I have it, but I haven't played it is Bullet Witch.
Yeah, I have Bullet
They're
Witch.
all
I haven't
excellent
played
games.
it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else I played. I know I played more than just.
Well, congrats
Gear.
on beating Link to the Past.
Yeah, that was awesome. Those videos are so old because we had shot a lot of videos back to back to back, and the
Yeah.
last pickup video we just did was actually pickups from like July. That's how far. Like we have content in
That's
the
actually
bank.
June's pickups.
It's probably
Yeah.
June's pickups, but we finally filmed it in July, and we have
Yeah.
so much filmed in the data bank there,
Oh,
but we
yeah.
just didn't have time to edit it.
Oh, I know all
So-
about it. We were just talking about
Oh,
it
yeah.
before we started here, like
Yeah,
how I'm like, oh, I got all this big pile of crap that I'm just gonna probably save half of it for next time and pretend I just got it because
yeah.
I don't want to talk your ears
Oh.
off and put you to sleep.
Silent Hill 2. I played Silent Hill too.
Yeah, you did.
There you go.
Yeah. I hadn't like
Excellent.
I'm trying to go back and play games that I had never experienced. Like I had experienced Silent Hill 2, but I didn't remember it. I didn't play it. My brother played all of these, so that's where my like big, fandom of survival horror comes from. Because we would sit in his room and he'd be like, "Okay, I'm gonna need you to help me through this map," and I would be like, "This is the best. Don't play without me." And we'd play all the games like Resident Evil, all the Silent Hills. I'd just sit there and he'd play them all. But yeah.
Pyramid Head.
That was my first PS2 game. I had it before I even had a PS2.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
we stayed at my uncle's house, and his roommate got a PS2, and like that game was pretty much brand new. And I was like, well, I want something to play on it, and I was like, I don't think he even had any games. I was like, what? Why? It must have been expensive.
Yeah.
And then I just went down to like, I don't know, I think GameStop or EB Games at the time, and grabbed it, and I played it, and then I realized this broke bastard doesn't even have a memory card. So I had to get really good at it, and we played like the whole weekend. I played it, but anytime I die, I had to start the game over. So it was.
How much do you want to go upstairs right now and kill your child?
I'm ready to go up and fucking wring his neck there because he's just doing laps there, just around the fucking house and just going crazy. Alex, stop walking around the house. Jesus.
He did it earlier too.
Holy
And we're
fuck.
are you
It's
the
right
right?
above me, just pace. He's
They got-
pacing. He's pacing. It's driving
We
me
got a
crazy.
radar. I think both of us need to invest in that light that turns on outside the door, like recording,
Yeah.
like a sound stage. No,
I don't
it's-
care. We're
it's-
streaming.
It's red, just like my face is going to be next time you see me.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
I need a rival. One of those rival Nerf guns. Shoot
Broke it.
Shoot a rock in it. Yeah. Yeah.
I just
Kids
want
are
him
a
to
joy.
threaten to call social services on us and be like,
Fuck,
"Would you do it?"
here's the phone.
Because,
Yeah.
like,
I'll dial for you.
just do it. Just do it.
I'm
Go.
about to I was about to Dennis the Menace if I didn't have the door locked earlier.
Mr. Wilson.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
All right. Well, Chris, what have you been up to? What have you been watching?
Went and saw a couple movies. Went and saw Barbarian earlier in the week for Halloween.
Yeah, that looks good.
That was messed up.
Barbarian.
That was messed up. Yeah, it's like a girl in she's traveling for a job interview, and she's in Detroit. She rents out an Airbnb, and when she gets there, someone had also booked it, so it's like double booked,
Yeah.
and it gets crazy from there. But it's really good. It's
Really good?
twisted as hell.
Sweet.
And then last night I went and saw Terrifier 2.
Never heard of
I
that.
can tell by the look on your face you weren't quite into
Oh
that.
no, it's just okay. So I didn't know any. We went to see a bunch of friends, and I went and saw. There was a double feature of the original Mummy and Bride of Frankenstein that was playing at the theater.
Mhm.
And while I was there, I saw a poster for this Terrifier 2, and I'm like, "What the hell's Terrifier?" I've never even heard of the first one.
Yeah, exactly.
So I go and I look it up, and apparently it was like a Kickstarter funded horror movie about this like killer clown named
High budget.
what's his name? Shit, I can't even remember. It's like Hal the Clown or something like that.
Oh, I thought
And
it was Terry
there's
Fire.
no
Terry Fires his name.
yeah. It's the movie, and I found it's streaming on Tubi for free, so I went and I watched it, and it's basically no plot. It's essentially just this clown goes around murdering people in like horrifically gory ways. Like it's all about the gore and like
Yeah.
people just being obliterated. Like he strings one girl up by her legs upside down, and he takes a hacksaw to her crotch and cuts her all the way down to her head.
Jeez.
And it's like
That was
slow.
good.
It's slow. It's just watching it happen. It's like, God damn. So naturally I went and saw the second one. Yeah, they were playing it they're only
Are
playing
you
it at like a
still
certain
going?
amount.
He's
Yeah.
still going. It just starts. He's like, oh, and finally.
Yeah.
Wish I would have sharpened this blade first.
So like I saw that the second one was only going to be playing at a certain amount of theaters, and it's playing right by me. So I'm like, oh, I'll go see it after work, and I did. And it's 2.5 hours long,
Oh,
Wow.
but it's one of the sickest things I've ever seen in my life. But I kind of want to see a part 3 now.
You come home and you're like, I need a shower.
Yeah, a little bit. There's some nasty ass shit going on in that movie, but then it also has this weird like superhero thing going on. It's the most bizarre
All
thing,
right,
and it was
all right,
only
I'll go see it. Jeez.
yeah, it's
But
strange as hell, and it has a post credit scene like a Marvel movie and all
Oh,
that.
really?
It's nuts. And I was like, yeah, I got when part 3 happens. I guess I'm going to see that too.
Can we just like it pissed me off? I know we're going to talk about it in a bit here, but with She-Hulk, because I had like post credit scenes, and then all of a sudden
They
None.
there's no post credit scenes. I'm
first
like,
2
you
or
made
3
me watch
maybe?
all those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
just
Captain
dropped
America fucked. When it comes to playing stuff, I'm still playing Valfaris.
yeah, I've been playing that off and on too.
Yeah, it's so difficult. I actually have to take like a week off. I'll beat like a stage, and then I have to take like a week off and like recharge because that game is difficult as hell.
Never
It's-
played it.
It's basically like Contra Castlevania ish.
Yeah.
It's like a 16-bit game.
Yeah.
And it's gory as hell. It's like got Mortal
have
Kombat
it.
gore when you
I
kill
know we
shit. It
have it.
just
Yeah.
explodes into bones and blood. It's
Yeah.
amazing. The soundtrack is the most metal
Yeah.
chiptunes I've ever heard. It's great, but yeah, he's right. Like
It's
you gotta, you basically, it's one of those games where you could use the same strategy, and then just one time it'll work.
Oh,
Like,
really?
It didn't work. It didn't work. I barely did any damage, and also
Oh, did it?
It'll just be. Have you found that too, Chris?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like the one boss that swoops you up and carries you to it's like the third or fourth boss. I did the same thing every time I fought them, and then one time it just obliterated them. I'm like, wow, I didn't even get to that phase. They just died. Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
But
it's awesome. It's just it's super hard. Like I said, I just need to like walk away from it for like a week at a time to get the nerve to play it again.
How long would it take to play through it?
It's not long. I mean,
I think
I'm
it's got 10
probably like
stages.
8 hours maybe.
Okay, it's just like super
Challenge. It's
grindy.
very challenging.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it gives you the option. You pick up these things and you can use them in checkpoints, or you can
Yeah.
hold on to them and buy upgrades and stuff with them. But you're gonna probably want to use them for every.
Yeah, I use them
unless
for the
you want-
continue for
unless-
the
yeah,
for the
unless you wanna-
checkpoints.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Uh,
sometimes you'll get an excess of them, so you'll have like 2, and you're like, ooh, I can do this.
I could do something.
And it's got like an upgrade system. It's not like Contra where it's not one-hit deaths,
Mhm.
but it's you can upgrade your weapons and you keep the upgrade. It doesn't, you get killed and you lose it.
Yeah, and
so
you-
that's really cool. You
that's
grab
cool,
different
yeah.
weapons and you find
I'm still using the starter sword,
yeah,
but I've
I find
upgraded it all the way.
yeah. That's pretty much what I've been doing too.
I do that with a game too. Like I'll get a pistol and I'm like, this is my favorite pistol. You and I are going to go places. And then I'll like upgrade the shit out of that thing. And I'm like, I don't need those other weapons.
Yeah,
I
that was me and the
probably
Mummy
should've.
Demastered.
Yeah.
I'll get one that does like devastating damage at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then use it until it's like, all right, it feels like it's not doing anything.
It's not
anymore.
doing anything.
And then I'll
anymore.
finally switch it up for another. I'm like, this game just got 10 times easier. I was wondering why it just got so hard out of nowhere. It's just my own
Yeah.
stubbornness and loving a gun. I'm like,
Sometimes I wonder if it wasn't for like when we'll play couch co-op games, especially when we played Diablo.
Yeah.
They would go and upgrade stuff, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh my
As soon as I
god,
get something cool,
it would
it's
drive
like,
me
Yeah.
bananas. I'm like, let's go play the game.
yeah,
And they
every time
have
we
to
go back to
upgrade.
town, they got to swap and,
Yes,
and sell.
It
Oh, yeah,
drove
that's
me
what-
crazy. But then I was like, oh, you know
sell,
what?
Upgrade,
This'll-
color, match your suit, everything, get all
Yeah.
geared
Well,
up.
that stuff kind of was like, man,
I know
whatever.
it too well. It's one of those
Yeah.
things where I get tired of the rigmarole of having, I'm full, I can't carry anymore. Got to go do this.
Yeah.
And then it seems like the
Yeah.
farther you get in the game, it happens more and more often. You're like, didn't I just sell all of my shit that I don't
Yeah.
need like 2 minutes ago and I got to go back already? Like,
Oh,
is
yeah.
it just me or these guys dropping more cool shit?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, I know that feeling. It's one of those things where, like, I used to watch my friend play RPGs, and watching him do that stuff was just like, all right. And it actually took me years before I played turn-based RPGs myself, because I just feel like they're really boring to watch. But
Oh
they're
yeah,
really
tell
fun
me
to play.
about it.
That's
When you're
what
playing
it
them,
is.
it's so fun to play.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I
But
get it now.
I
It took
think
me-
that's what kept us from playing for
Yeah.
so long.
Oh, I
was
bought
it just
games where I'm
looked
like,
boring.
shit, it's turn-based. I thought it was going to be like a Diablo or like a
Yeah.
something like that kind of game, and I'm like, damn it, and I just get bummed out and put it on my shelf.
Yeah.
I actually sold a couple and then had to like buy them back for. I wish I just kept it when I got it for $8.
Oh my right, because you can't like you're never going to get a cheap RPG, and you're never going to get a cheap survival horror. They don't seem like it seems to be.
I bought my whole town out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm known as like people I don't know get a hold of me like, hey, you buy old games, eh? But that doesn't happen very much anymore. But it for a while there, I was running the gambit on it. But yeah, it's good to be known as like the game guy in your area. So it's a shitty small town, but I think I've reaped most of the spoils of hidden people.
No one can have garage sales in your town anymore.
Yeah.
I got a really good deal on like a lot of the big RPGs I would have been shelling out hundreds for.
Are you in Ontario?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm right on the border of Minnesota. Like literally.
Oh, okay.
I had a PO box until like the pandemic, and then
Okay.
I shut it down after a bit. When I went across, I had 78 packages waiting for me when I went over there.
Oh shit.
So that's how I accumulated a lot of my collections. Like, oh, I can trade because it's not Canada Post, so it's not like buying something twice just to get it shipped to you.
Yeah.
So it's I could like trade something to like Texas, and it was like $6 to
Really
ship
though
stuff to them, and they trade it back to me. So that's my one leg up of living in Canada, because I know how hard it is to collect here.
Yes.
So not everything had to be eBay, but yeah, locally.
Could be worse. Could be Michael be the game genie living on that island.
yeah. In Newfoundland.
Well, to be fair, he's doing it to himself, buying all those arcade one-up machines.
Yeah, I know, right?
Instead of
the
the plug and play thing that's $200 and it has all the games that he's paying.
I think he gets all of his arcade one-ups from a drugstore.
Yeah.
Java 2.
No,
I think they ship it to the drugstore. I think that's where he gets them from. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know he's getting a lot of them through the brick or something.
Some of them they're like I can't remember which one it was, but I was looking at it. It might have been Outrun or whatever.
Yeah.
And I looked at how much it was going to cost to actually get it
to Canada.
Yeah. It was like $800. I was holy fuck.
Yeah.
You probably have better luck just trying to find the original.
The original.
And just
yeah.
mix it up. Yeah.
I thought, buying Outrun 2006 was expensive, but I guess if you want the arcade cab, you got to sell a kidney or something.
Yeah, that's why I got my. If you really want to play Outrun in the arcade, just play a Yakuza game. It's on almost all of those.
Yeah.
So I got that plug and play thing with like 1,300 games built into it, and almost all the games work perfect, and I can hide it behind my wall unit when I'm not playing it. So it's not taking up the whole. I got more room for games.
Yeah, like I can't imagine.
You don't have the room.
Eventually, when we kick Alex out for pacing around upstairs, his bedroom.
Later today.
His bedroom.
Yeah. I was getting arcade machines for a bit there, and I had to just stop myself. I got I bought my childhood. I bought the Street Fighter 2 game from our local bowling alley that I used to play when I was a kid.
Oh, cool.
So the guy got it fixed up, and then I was actually it was just perfect timing that I worked at Walmart at the time, and the manager's wife worked with me there, and she was just on her lunch break talking about like, hey, I'll put it up on Facebook. What is it? All right, $150. Okay, what's it called? Street Fighter 2? And I just stopped her as soon as she was like, you don't even bother putting it on Facebook. Like, I'm right here.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like I was gonna mention it to you, and I was like, yeah, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
So, and then I got lucky. My grail item is Terminator 2.
Oh,
it's
cool.
the game I've wanted since I was 7 years old. So
yeah,
I came up locally, and I made my brother did a road trip and somehow fit it in my Chevy Traverse and made it happen. I'm like, all right, I don't need arcade games now.
Yeah, I wanted the Pac-Man one. I mean, the real Pac-Man one would have been cool, but Scott sold me on that by saying, if we move the freezer into the workout room, which is now the retro room, he's like, you could get an arcade, because I didn't want to move it in there because I didn't like the idea of it in there. He's like, but then the kegerator can go behind there and you can get an arcade. I'm like, I'm listening. So that's how that happened.
Yeah, I just have the Mortal Kombat one. I want to get the Tron one because my Tron room is in the other room.
Yeah,
but I'm not paying $700 for that.
Oh,
it's a lot.
It's
fancy. Everything on it glows, and it has like black lights built into it in different places, and all that's really expensive.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So
If you go
yeah.
if you go at the right time of night, it's not though.
Mhm.
Just got to mask up, bro. Yeah. It's the only pickups that you can't show.
Yeah.
It's on the background. Nothing.
Nah,
I have to know. Have you guys watched Dahmer?
not yet.
I started it.
Did ya?
Yeah, I've been watching it at work. I was trying to catch up on my other stuff, and then I was like,
Great place to watch that.
"Oh yeah."
Like, give the kids ideas.
Oh, no, I don't watch it. I don't watch it with them. We only watch the Saw
Come
movies
here.
and shit. Yeah,
Eh,
we only watch the Saw movies and shit at work.
Oh God.
But when I'm on break or on a night shift, we always watch stuff. And I think I watched the first 2 episodes so far, but I watched the older Dahmer movie from like the early 2000s. So
Yeah, we
like
haven't seen that one.
it's a lot more brief. I mean, what's this one? 8 episodes, I think.
I
8
10,
episodes?
right?
Maybe 10. Yeah.
8 or 10.
Yeah.
So
Let's say
yeah,
10.
I'm chipping away at it. My coworker was really surprised I hadn't watched it all. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
I was like, it's October. I'm watching this. Like,
Yeah.
let's get this
I'm gonna
done.
watch it,
Yeah.
but I hear it's rough.
Because I'm the one
you know what?
that walks around the office and like Ric Flair chops people when they're not up on the Marvel stuff. What do you mean you didn't watch New Shield? Can't talk about it in here now. Everyone,
Yeah,
was,
exactly.
everyone was talking a big game about the new Thor when it came out. Yeah, I'm watching that night it comes out. So I come in the following Monday and I'm like, all right, let's talk about Thor. And he hasn't watched it, and I was just like,
Oh,
motherfucker.
you're fired.
Go stand out in the hall so we can talk about it. I
Yeah.
got stuff to say.
I was like you and me with the Predator.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see it? No. We need to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see
It
it. We
really
need to
sucks
talk.
when your friend hasn't watched something that you're like really into and you really want to talk about it. Like, get
Yeah.
that done. Like, just do that up.
So
Dennis has been asking us about a show. I can't remember what it was. I feel like he's asked us 2 or 3 times now. And I'm like, we're just gonna have to watch that.
Church and I have extensively bothered Chris about Mass Effect. Like every time we're
yeah.
all together, we're like, "So how's Mass Effect? It's installed, okay? Just leave me alone." I played it, so yeah.
Wait, that happens to us too with games.
That's how you know you're good friends with someone when you bully them into stuff you know they'll like.
Yeah. I'll do that to Dennis because
So-
we're both like
I must love
really
you
into
big
our
time, bro.
PS4 games, and I'm like, here, take that home, play that now, please. I will. I'll send him home with games. I'm like, well, I remember when The Last of Us 2 came out, and we had both played it, and Dennis hadn't played it yet, and we were like, you're gonna play it today, and we just shoved it at him. Like, by the way, we're live streaming next week. Get this done in a week. I don't care if you call to work sick. Like, just get it done.
Oh, yeah,
Homework.
there's been a couple of games I felt pressured because I got to talk about it on a podcast. I'm like, I got to get it day one.
Yeah, that's like
I
me
yelled
right
at
now.
Amazon about stuff, especially with when I was doing the game. When we were doing the game tenants more often, it was just like, I know he's got it, and I don't even want to hear him talk about it if I don't have it, because I'm like, I'm just as excited for it. And then we do an episode and be like, yeah, mine didn't show up yet, and I just feel, yeah, you're talking about something I wish I was experiencing now. So nothing like that.
I think
Like,
I was on an episode where that happened.
Yeah, was it? No, it wasn't Cyberpunk because I did have Cyber.
Yeah, you had Cyberpunk.
I ordered the Cyberpunk Collector's Edition to my PO box, but it was COVID, so I didn't get it till it was like a year and a half. It was on clearance, and when I finally got it, I was like, oh, I appreciate that I spent full price on this. But
Yes,
in the
exactly.
meantime, I just bought it on PS4 because I got the Xbox Collector's Edition. I was like, screw it, I'll get it on PS4 so I can play it because I'm not going to hear about this game. I'm so stoked for it, and then and I'm glad because I might have been like, oh, I'll return it when I get it if I just went by what everyone was saying about it.
Yeah.
But Church and I loved it, so
I loved it.
I haven't
yeah.
played it yet.
So
It
I was
is
like,
so good.
Yeah, I hear people really, and I kind of wanted to get it day one, and then I don't know what happened that I didn't.
I don't know.
It just didn't happen.
I think
for
I
whatever
talked you out of
You might have.
Yeah. I got it like 2 weeks after it came out. Best Buy already had it like discounted by about half price.
Wow, it was
Oh, wow,
fucking
yeah.
broken when they said
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but the thing was, like, everyone was complaining about it, but I played it on my Xbox One X, and I had like nothing. I had
No
like
issues.
Well,
maybe some
apparently
graphical
that was-
glitches and stuff,
yeah.
but no game breaking, nothing, no crashes, nothing like that.
That's
I
the
ran
best way
into
to
two
play it, I
funny
guess.
things. Yeah, the only things I ran into were very minor and funny. Like I shot a guy with a shotgun, and he went into a door, and only his feet, hands, and head were hanging out, and he was going. And I was like, "Is this what people are mad about? Because this is fucking hilarious."
Because this is hilarious.
I got a gun that shoots people until they look like those little things that you buy that hold Halloween candy balls. It's just big hands and a head. I'm like, perfect. I love this.
See, that happened. I kind of got turned off Days Gone for a while because of all the glitches and that.
Same
Yeah, I got
problem.
glitched out on that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
they
we
didn't
ended
fix
up
a lot
buying
of it
it
either.
later. Like,
Oh, it was probably it wasn't a full year later,
but it was close to a year
it was
later.
close to it, and we still ran into one bad glitch.
One
Sarah.
really
It's
bad
just-
glitch that was hilarious but maddening at the
Yes.
same time. You're driving
You're
to
driving your bike to the dam,
yes,
but at a walking pace.
like you
Like
can
you're
get off
almost
your
out of gas.
yeah.
yeah,
The
Well, so
girl
is
you're
Death
driving
Stranding.
with, you could just get out and walk faster than her,
yeah.
and then you get too far away, and it would
Yeah.
say you're too far away.
Well, because they're going so slow, I'm like, well, I'm gonna go over here and scavenge, get some stuff there.
Yeah.
And then she would bitch at you, and you're too far away. What are you doing? Oh, fuck's sakes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it's like-
that was hilarious.
Well, it's like playing Death Stranding, where the only vehicle worth even driving is the motorcycle because it's the terrain's so rocky. At least you could go in between the rocks. But
Yeah,
even then, you'd be just going at a crawling pace because you'd have to go around so much stuff. That was my
Really
main
flat.
gripe with the game. Yeah. So, yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, I haven't played too much of that yet. I got to get into that.
I played it
I've had
all.
for a
I
long
loved
time.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
nervous about getting games day one now because you just
Yeah,
no
Never know.
guarantee you're
Yeah.
getting a playable game.
It
I mean, you
goes
can get a
gold, and then
Switch
they're on
game
down
day
to the crunch
one,
to
you're
fix
fine.
it before it's released.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, at least they do fix games now. Like when you get a crappy game back in the day, it's just shitty forever.
Yeah.
So,
It sucks to be you.
hmm
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. So have you been playing anything, watching anything else there, Chris?
I beat Ratchet and Clank, the
I also
2016 one or 2015 or whatever it is. That was pretty fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I
It
need to
reminded
go
me
and
of
play
the
the
Lego
PS5 game now.
It reminded me of the Lego games.
I hear the one on the PS5 is amazing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
still got to play it. I know Captain
haven't
Al's
played
already
it yet.
beat it,
Did he?
but
I think the Ratchet and Clank game I played was Future Tools
Future.
of Destruction,
Oh yeah,
Something.
yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
yeah. There, I got a lot of them, and I played a bit of them back in the day. Like I played the original couple because my brother actually got them when we were younger, and would leave them in my room and stuff, and he'd always just want to play that or Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, okay, Grand Theft Auto when mom and dad aren't around, but yeah, you can play.
Yeah.
Because he was like 7.
Oh,
You're not letting your brother play this, are you? No, I was
no,
playing that.
never.
Yeah, so I just got to be the cool brother. But
Yeah.
but I also played my roulette game,
yeah.
and I'm not going to talk about that just yet. But when it comes to what I've been doing, I've basically been spending a lot of time prepping for the new D&D campaign I'm going to be running.
Oh,
Hell
nice.
yeah. So you've selected what you're gonna do then, because you were kind of on the fence about what you're gonna play, because you were talking
Yeah,
about
we talked.
that or
My group
Cyberpunk.
talked about it, and then like Mondane is going to be playing with us now,
Oh, nice.
Cool.
and Church, the game grinder, is going to be playing with us now too.
I'd
and,
like to, but I know that time would not permit, and I'll be a cameo if you need someone.
I was going to say, if there's a night you're available, we can have you be a one-off. But yeah, we're talking about like availability for, the game modules and the stuff. There's so much D&D stuff out there, and you have Dungeons and Dragons Beyond, that website lets you can create characters like in 5 minutes kind of situation. So it's just, there's so much information out there. We're like, we'll just play that. It's just the easiest
It's a
one
rabbit
to
hole
get.
we haven't gone down because
Yeah.
I could probably get sucked into something like that. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got all
I
my
got
mansions
one.
with
I got one
madness
buddy
here.
there. He just started getting into it.
Yeah,
not that
yeah,
long.
yeah.
Yeah, I started watching Critical Role. A friend at work talked me into watching Critical Role, and from there, I was just kind of like, God damn it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
I bought
it's
the
going
little
to be
starter
pretty cool.
kit.
I've got some cool ideas for it, and the people that are playing are coming up with some really really cool characters. I can't wait
that's
to
awesome.
play it.
I think I'm gonna get into it more when my kids are a bit older because of Stranger Things, they've like
Mhm.
shown more interest in it too. And I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
when you guys are like old enough to understand more, just like my daughter, since she was like 2, has wanted to learn how to play Magic the Gathering.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And so we used to pretend to play, but she's like, hey, I'm old enough now. Can I learn to play? And I'm like, sit down at the Xbox and play that game. It'll basically teach you how to play. So,
Yeah.
so there you go. I'm glad I kept some of my old cards now. But I also, I mean, at least I won't have to worry about her being into drugs if she gets into Magic because she'll have no money. Every time, she gets, every time she gets a couple bucks, she'll be like, that's enough for a pack of Magic.
I gotta buy my Magic.
Yeah. I'm like, what?
Daddy
what
needs a taste.
What happened to your arms? Like, the new set's been out for a week and I don't have any yet, Dad. Oh, sorry, I've been failing as a parent.
You just bought me like $20. I'm good for it. I
I
promise.
gotta get the starter kit.
I'll do dishes for a week.
She's washing the laundry before it's even dirty. She's just taking it out of the drawers and washing it again to get credit.
She's just spitting on dishes and throwing them in the sink.
I saw Buffalo sitting on the couch and started washing them. Yeah, so yeah, I'm glad the interest is there. I think I'm gonna have a pack of nerds, so that's good.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, I'm
about you, bro?
Are you gonna be streaming the D&D when you play?
Yeah, I talked about it in my stream on Thursday night. I asked the people that were watching, I'm like, would you even be interested in watching this being streamed? And if you did, where would you want me to stream it?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, yeah, we want to watch it and stream it on your channel. It's still gaming.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
It doesn't just say like video gamer. That's retro gamer. And what's more
So-
retro than D&D?
I just want a Hellfire shirt. Like, I need to get
Yeah,
one.
I want to get one of those
I want
too.
one. I
Like-
think 8-Bit had one on in one of his videos. I'm like,
Yeah, we
Hot topic.
yeah.
we actually since the last episode, I mean, I think the last episode we just started, but from the end of August till now, we've marathoned all of Stranger Things with the kids.
Oh, it's so good.
So we got
good.
2 episodes left. So
Yeah.
we're like
We
2
watched-
episodes. I was like, oh, we can watch that before I do my podcast tonight. And then I'm like, oh, 4 fucking hours? Okay,
Yeah,
never mind.
yeah.
'cause
Yeah,
an
the
hour
last
and a
two
half and-
episodes are like 2 hours each.
Pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
hour and a half and 2.5
So
hours. So I was like,
amazing.
ugh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my God.
We've been anytime we get to, because basically when
Just the way
I'm
they
not
use the
working, my
music
wife
on that
is.
show,
That's
holy
basically
shit.
how her business goes. Is when I'm not working, she's available to work. So
Yeah.
she works maximum time possible. So we've been just squeezing in like, oh, it's Friday. The kids can stay up till 11 tonight, and we'll just watch a
Exactly.
couple episodes.
So do you
hopefully-
all watch it from 5,
Yeah.
like the 5-year-old to the 10? That's so
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
so like it's like
awesome.
we always try to have like a family show.
Yeah.
So we love about the Disney shows. We always got we watch all them together. It really started when What If came out because all the kids were just
Oh,
we were
yeah.
gonna be watching What If.
Yeah.
And
I
then
haven't
my-
seen it, but you and Alex
Yeah,
watched
Alex
it.
watched
Yeah.
them. They're really good.
I usually get kicked out of the room. You know, it'll be like a dad, like son thing. And like, you're not watching.
You don't like cartoons.
Well,
Oh.
I would maybe if you guys let me watch the fucking things. Like, I'm not allowed.
Well, I was actually when they announced all these things, I was like, I don't care about that character. I don't care about What If. I loved the What If comics when I was a kid because
Yeah.
it was always just like one little thing changed and like their whole lives changed. Like what if
Yeah.
Aunt May had been killed instead of Uncle Ben,
What?
kind of thing.
What if?
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's-
Sorry.
It's so good.
You'll never even talk about it again.
I
It-
will. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it basically like my daughter has always been like superheroes are pretty cool. But we
Mhm.
watched What If, and then I had to be like, oh, and do you remember in the Hulk movie this happened? And she's like, no. I'm like, I know you've seen every single Marvel movie. She's like, yeah, we've seen most of them in like but I'm like, I guess you're 10. Some things are lost to the ether of infancy, I guess,
Yes.
before that. So I was like, all right. So we just watched the entire MCU, and I'm like, this is the best thing ever. It's like,
I would
get
think if you
into-
asked my son what his favorite memory is, it's when dad pulled him out of school to go see
Both. Well, the second and third Avengers.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
no, not the second. The last two there.
Yeah.
Oh, Infinity War and Endgame?
Infinity War, yeah, and Endgame.
Yeah.
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 Well, those are more important than school. That's why.
Fucking
Yeah,
right.
right? Like,
I know people who call out of work to go see them.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure my son's
faked serious illness, like I chopped off my big toe kind of thing.
Yeah. You don't even have to go that far. You just say explosive diarrhea, and then
Yeah.
people won't ask questions.
I got the poopies.
Yeah, especially if you're a girl. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm really embarrassed, but I have explosive diarrhea. Or you can say, it's my time of the month. Like,
Yeah.
just can't. Like,
Well,
Jordan, shut up. I don't want to hear it.
I'm pretty sure when my son's an adult, his earliest memory is going to be when he was like 3 or maybe 4, and we took him to Terminator, even though it was rated R. We took him.
Nice.
Terminator Dark Fate came out, and we all wore our leather jackets and went to Terminator.
Oh, that's so
Nice.
cool.
He's like, yeah. And like Terminator 2 is like one of his favorite movies ever, which is probably somewhat influenced by me because that's my absolute most favorite movie ever.
That's
But,
when you do your parenting right.
Yeah.
When you make them watch all the stuff you watched when you were younger, you're like, listen, you got to watch this.
Yeah, and the thing is, don't pressure them. Just kind of like watch it, and then watch them get interested too. And they're like, yes. Like
Yeah.
the first thing I ever watched with him was Conan. I was
nice.
I was like, all right, you're a day old. It's time to learn what's best in life, bro. So
It's interested about the lamentation of the women.
yeah, so yeah, he was pretty excited about that because everyone was like, don't take him. He's little, and even my dad was like, oh really, Dad? You're the one who let me watch. I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons because they're rude, but I can watch Terminator 1 that has titties in it, and I can watch Terminator 2 on a loop all day on Saturdays, and you didn't.
Yeah, I couldn't watch Friday the 13th movies, but I could watch Commando. I could watch Arnold chop people up with a machete.
Throw
But I
some,
couldn't watch I couldn't watch Jason do it.
Yeah.
I like the amount of stuff I watched when I was a kid, and my mom was like, you can't watch kids in the hall.
Yeah.
I'm
You
like,
know,
What?
but that show
Maybe
had
not the
boobs in
new
it, and we all went like this.
if it was
But I
like
couldn't watch
all
Kids in
like the
Hall.
new season, I'd be like maybe.
Oh yeah, with all the naked old men, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
This is kind of like what?
the earlier seasons pretty tame, but I wasn't expecting that.
Oh god, the Queen Elizabeth sketches always used to crack me up.
Yeah.
When I was a little girl and people were born with red hair, they were considered a rip, really evil and drowned as a witch. It's a fact.
The only thing is, like, I let them watch it, but also have a dialogue with them, like, hey, shooting people's not cool. 3-year-old kid. He's not going to school and drawing everyone with guns, shooting each other's heads off and stuff. Because, yeah, I mean, we're Canadian, so it's not as.
We do the
not
same
as
thing with Alex.
awful
We're
thing,
like,
but-
let him watch South Park, and we're like, listen, I know they said Canadians are bad, but we're not bad.
Well, we are to blame for everything.
We're not to blame for everything.
But craft dinner's delicious.
All right, buddy.
So what have you been doing?
A lot of working, but I got a new video out since our last episode.
Oh my god, what? Is it the apocalypse?
Oh my god, it's only something that my boys have been bugging me about since I picked it up. But we finally did our Ecto 1 retro versus new school comparison video, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. Some of it kind of choppy, but yeah, check it out anyway. I tried hard.
I just wish we had one Ecto 1,
Yeah.
new or old.
Oh,
I'd like to.
you got it.
Yeah.
The old one? I don't know. I might have an extra.
They had a bunch
seen
of them at
you
that
and-
toy store I went to.
Yeah,
I went
I,
to a flea market and I seen 2 of them, but they both looked like they should have been up on cinder blocks.
Oh, yeah.
I actually took the one that we opened in the video and I turned it into the one from Ghostbusters 2 because that's actually the one I had when I was a kid. It's basically the same thing with
Yeah.
all the extra decals on it to look like the one
Yeah.
from Ghostbusters 2, but mine got decimated and it's way too much. And I was like, well, I've already got the regular Ecto one, but I was like, I'm not buying a new one.
Yeah.
So I bought that and then I ordered the stickers on eBay and it turned out awesome. So I got to have them side by side.
Oh, that's so
and not
cool.
costing me like $800 for the 2 of them. So
Yeah.
that was good.
I'm
lot of
really
fun.
shocked Scott hasn't made us buy the He-Man stuff yet because
At
you had
least
mentioned it a few times.
Oh,
The problem
I
is
had
my
always
toy
thought-
room's full, and I would rather have some of the original stuff over
Yeah.
the reissue, the remakes.
Skull.
I,
Yes.
I kind of it sucks because our Walmart's is so pick and choose with what they get.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They'll get
Yeah.
like the third wave, and I'm like, but yeah, now I don't get Beastman. I don't get all like the main bad guys are in the first
Yeah.
couple of waves. So I was like, I don't even know if I want to get started.
Beast man, you boob.
So I got He-Man and Skeletor immediately when I saw them, but they were like they came out with every wave basically.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, I grabbed a little bit here and there. I saw Castle Grayskull when I was out of town, and I was like, okay, I'm getting that. But
Oh yeah.
so I had to basically really like stop myself from going off the deep end.
Well,
But
that's the
like,
problem, right?
and like the prices what was selling me, I'm like, they're like $15 Canadian. I'm like, that's amazing for action figures because
Yep.
the Marvel stuff's getting upwards of $40 a figure. So I'm like, this is awesome comparatively. Then I go to look for like the ones I missed, and they're all like skyrocketing prices. It's like, no, the $15 is the selling point to me.
Exactly.
yes.
You know, take
Exactly.
$80 and then shipping and you know.
Oh, I know.
So it's
Well,
like
that's how
$100
they
at the
get
end of
you.
the day.
They're
it's
like,
$100 by the
buy
end
these
of the day.
$15 ones, and then these other rarer ones are going to cost $120.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it. So
Yeah.
I've got a good mix of the old ones, but I was just like, all right, I'm gonna keep it to one shelf, and then that's how much I
Yeah.
got. So
Do you
unless
have
something
just
really
one
cool
shelf?
comes, then I get one
I got a
for.
room full there.
Like one shelf of the He-Man stuff.
I have one
Unless-
shelf of He-Man. Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Unless my wife's brother comes over and looks at the shelf and goes, "Hey," because then he'll realize that those are all his. Like when we got together, she's like, "You like this kind of stuff?" And she's like, "It's just sitting here." So that's all.
Did you immediately get down on one knee and say, "Will you marry me?"
It was really hard not to. I'm like, I don't want to scare her off. But she also.
I don't know what else she has.
Oh, she's also the reason I have a TurboGrafx with the disk system thing. So I'm like,
Oh, that's
all right.
awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, she had a pretty cool childhood. So yeah, she was more into the My Little Ponies and stuff. So she's got like a shit ton of room. Before we had kids, that
Hey,
was her.
friendship
that was
is
her
magic.
no,
Yeah,
no,
it
was
is.
It was before that.
Could have been a brony.
Before we had kids, she had her own collection room, and it was just all anime and My Little Ponies. So we'd go to the retro stores, and we both had stuff to look at. I mean, she likes the same stuff I do, but
Yeah.
she also was like, "I'm gonna go look at ponies and stuff." And I'm like, "Well, I'm buying so much stuff, you can probably get those for free." So,
I just
yeah.
want all the scary shit. I want like a Chucky doll and
Something wrong with you.
like I just don't give off that persona, I think, to anybody. They're
Yeah.
like, "What do you like to do?" And I'm like,
Sleep with one eye
"Are
open.
you to be
I-
scared?"
I gotta stop myself. I like too many things too deeply that I've had
Yes.
to like since I've got really into collecting the figures now. I had to been like, I can't on the horror figures. Like I got a couple.
Right?
I got like my giant. I got my Cenobite
It was
layer.
like with the comic books I'm giving you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, I want all of them. I just, no.
I want all of them, but I also want you to be able to make some money off them. So I'll just be really choosy. I'm like letting him know. He's like, "What do you want?" He's sending me pictures, and I'm like, "These no's aren't for disinterest. They're because I don't want to rack up too heavy of a tab."
Yep.
I
Yep.
still think it ended up around 200 comics. So
Oh,
I got, dude, I have 2 short boxes filled.
Oh, it's easy to go off the deep end.
my heart
because
is full of love.
he used to like you still buy comics every week, but
I don't search out the old collectibles anymore. I
Yeah.
got what I could get in my price point area there, I think.
yeah,
And this was right around the time Marvel started coming out with all the movies.
Yeah.
And things were skyrocketing fast.
you got lucky. You got what you wanted when you did. We chased Walking Dead for a while. We wanted that first one, and we chased it, and I think it's come down a little bit since, but we
it's
never
still-
ended up getting it.
Yeah, there's
Right.
and the thing that sucks, especially with collecting like figures and stuff, is there's always like exclusives that
Mhm.
you gotta like, oh yeah, we don't have that in Canada, so where's that gonna be at? Like,
Yeah,
so you're like, oh, so that's automatically a
variants.
$200 figure. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm over it.
I have the Alice Madness Returns. Like I have Alice, and I have the Kurt Guard, but I don't have the Cheshire Cat, and I don't have the different versions of Alice.
They are pricey.
The
I'm
figures?
trying to ask
Yes.
myself, do I need the different versions of Alice, or will I be complete if I just get the Cheshire Cat?
I used to have the original games figures.
Oh, really?
I used to
The
have all of
PC
them.
game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You're lucky that there's somewhere you can go nearby to buy comics.
Yeah.
There's,
And
you don't have
toys.
any place?
I don't know you guys know what Thunder Bay is.
Yeah.
That's a 4-hour drive. Winnipeg's a
Ooh.
4-hour drive the other way, and I'm right at the border. So probably the closest comic shop to me is about 3 hours away. So it's
Oh
like,
wow.
so
I could walk to one over here.
he's like, yeah, there's one across the street. Let me know if you're looking. I was like, don't let me know that.
I have
Yeah.
within walking distance. I have an arcade, a comic book shop, an anime shop, and a retro toy shop.
Yeah, I live in a
That's-
crappy area like
that's
that. It's amazing the collection I've managed to have, and not had to pay ridiculous online prices for most of my stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm in a town of like 9,000 people. So it's just
Oh wow.
there's nothing nearby. So it's like going out of town, and that's why I come back and I'm like, yeah.
I don't blame you.
Actually,
We're
stop.
really
I
lucky.
keep on saying to Jason, "Don't come visit me because you're gonna like get rid of all your kids' college money and stuff."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I go to a semi all right store and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like-
I go to a convention and I'm like, please help me. Sweating. I've been in the vendor hall for 2 minutes at Midwest Gaming Classic.
just drooling on yourself.
Oh God.
See,
I've been there. I've seen it.
See, well, you know what's going to happen to us? Like when we go to Siege next year, I'm going to have to like constantly remind myself because I'm going to be walking up to tables and going, "Oh my God, look at that! Look at that! We need that! We need that!" That's American prices. That's like maybe not as good a price as you think it is because you're thinking Canadian. That's what I have to change my brain.
Oh yeah,
to
exactly.
realize.
When anytime I say I buy something, it's only $15, and they look and they're like, I'm like, oh, that's like $10 for you guys.
Yeah, that's like 5 cents US.
Yeah, I'm like, take 30% off of everything I say. So I always try to like say, oh, this is 15. We're like 12 American or whatever.
Yeah,
So I'm like, it was actually a good deal, not regular price.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You have to because most people work in American currency.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to throw it out there.
And that's why I think Canadian collectors are so much happier when we get a deal on something because we're like, we don't get those.
No.
Everything's more because it's here.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
got Canadian tax that isn't actually a federal thing.
Oh man. We're dealing with 15% tax here in New Brunswick. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, same here.
It's nuts.
You know what pisses me off there? I don't know when they started it exactly, but it seems like everything on eBay now has taxes. It used to be, it wasn't like that before.
Oh, and as long as it's not hundreds of dollars, the shipping is almost as much as the item you're getting.
Yeah, yeah.
That's $60. That's not too bad. And even it'll tell you the Canadian price, like it converts it for you if it knows where you're from. But then you look and it's like $30 shipping. You're like
shipping.
And they're
import charge,
they're
taxes on top of that.
Yeah, there's a weird online Illinois tax now when I buy stuff here.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah, for some reason. Well, our state is broke. And yeah, there's like if you buy anything online, there's like the sales tax and then there's the Illinois tax. It's nuts.
Yeah. But besides picking up too much crap, figuring out where it's going to go, getting kind of everything dialed in, I think I'm actually going to do I think I'm finally ready to do a collection room tour video because I haven't done one.
37 hours long.
I haven't actually done one since I lived in this house, let alone since I've moved it all and expanded it so greatly. So it's going to be like night and day to my old one, which probably don't even watch anymore. It's probably terrible. It wasn't that good at the time.
When you go back and watch videos, you're like, oh God.
My first one, I'm not even in the frame all the way. I just got my first video games monthly. My buddy's like, make a YouTube channel and do an unboxing. And I was like, fuck it. No one's going to watch it. And I just like set up my camera. Didn't even have a tripod. I put it on a stack of games. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of in the frame. And my daughter is probably like 4 and she's 10 now. So yeah, quite a while ago. It's cool to watch her in that, but I don't want to watch me in that.
Yeah.
So anyway, since I've not been up to, I've been watching a little bit of stuff. Like I checked out the new season opening for Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
I gotta watch that. I watched the first season.
Yeah, the first season was really good. Second season starting out, it was kind of slow, but it's we'll see.
So the first season did too. The first episode was
really
kind of.
I really like the first season, and like it's better than I say some of the movies, but I think I mean most of the movies.
Yeah,
So
I'm in agreement.
especially for being a show.
I had seen it on one of the streaming services,
Yeah.
but I haven't watched.
Yeah, they have it on
yet.
in the States. We have it on Peacock.
I think it's
Oh.
on Crave.
Crave.
in
We
Canada.
have Crave. It
Yeah,
probably.
I think
on there.
I think it's on Crave. Is where I watched most of it. I think at home. Anyway, I know it's available. So
Okay.
our Canadian plate. Speaking of Canadian plate, Hellraiser I had to watch on a shady site because it's nowhere to be found in Canada.
Really.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I have to pull it up on my Xbox because it was one of those sites that I'm like, I'm not subjecting my PC to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Work computers are a different thing, but yeah.
Yeah. You're like,
But,
I don't care about your computer. This is your computer.
This is mine. I got to buy another one if something happens.
Yeah,
to me.
exactly.
I'd be like, I don't know. I never sit at that computer if something goes on with one of those.
Yeah.
But besides that, I kind of caught up on a couple movies that we talked about previously, like Top Gun Maverick. Holy shit!
Yeah,
I wasn't even remotely hyped for that movie. Like
I wasn't either.
Oh,
I think
surprise, eh?
I think me and you feel the same way about the first one. Like you said, you couldn't even sit through the whole thing.
Nope.
I think the last time I watched it was probably 15 years ago. I was just kind of like, yeah, it's all right. It is what it is. I don't feel any of the danger at the end of the first one. Like, I
Yeah.
don't feel any of the tension that you're supposed to feel. I'm like,
Well, the dog fight lasts for like 3 minutes.
and then spoilers if you haven't seen it, Goose dies. I'm like, that's the only part I really remember.
That's when the movie starts to get good.
That's the only part, yeah, I even remembered was that part. And so I rewatched it, and then I was like, I don't know.
And before I saw it, I had to force myself to sit through the first one.
Yeah, and I was like, I've been seeing so much about how good this one is. I was like, fuck it, I'll watch it. And I was just kind of bored at work one night, and I watched it, and I was like, holy shit! Like when third one when? That's
Oh,
how,
yeah.
how much I
I
liked
know.
it. was
And
like,
I saw it
had
in
never seen
4D.
the first one. I had
yeah.
never seen the first one.
Oh really?
And we could make a whole series about shit Jen hasn't seen. That's an entire.
Really,
that's an
though?
entire.
Like-
I remember
Like-
the episode of Get to Know Gamer I was in. We were doing that a little
Huge
bit.
movies, like
Like,
yeah, everybody's seen. You sit here all day and name them all. Jen hasn't seen.
I don't know if I haven't seen them or I don't remember seeing them, but I like I'll have watched the weirdest off the cuff stuff that everybody's like, I haven't
Sure.
seen that, and I think you had seen Monster Squad, and I was just excited somebody else had seen Monster.
Oh, I love
Squad.
Monster Squad. I
Yeah.
love
I
it.
love Monster Squad too.
Monster
It's,
Squad's
it's an August 23rd thing.
Scott, not so much for the Monster Squad.
Well, it
I loved it
didn't.
as a kid.
It's not aged
Wolfman
well.
has nards.
No,
Scott.
but Wolfman has nards.
He has
Yeah.
nards.
So do I.
Yeah.
Well, you think you would enjoy it?
I did love it as a kid. I actually kind of forgot what it was called for a while until my wife and I got together and she was talking about it, and I was like,
Monster Squad.
yeah, I've seen that. I just didn't remember what it was called. So yeah, we watched it again. I'm like, it's still good, but I remember it being like amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, when you're 10 years old, yeah.
Yeah, so, well, like, because at the time you're the same age as the kids, so it's even
Yeah.
cooler. And whereas like right now, we're like, I'm surprised I like Stranger.
I'm the
Things.
age of the dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm surprised I like Stranger Things as much as I do because I typically hate things where kids are the main character now.
Yeah.
Like when I'm watching it for the first time, like I like any of the kids stuff I used to like, but yeah, when I'm watching, like I hated the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe movies, like all the Narnia movies.
Yeah.
It took me so long to even try to watch Harry Potter. Like
Haven't seen it.
like we went to
Skip the first two, just start with the third.
Okay.
we went to Universal Studios to Harry Potter World, and I hadn't even seen the movies. I was like, yeah, this is like really well done. Like they did a good job. My wife was like,
Where's the butterbeer?
are you gonna watch it? And I was like, nah, probably not. And then the funny thing is we went to it, and then the day we flew home, the entire cast of the movies was there for the grand opening. And we saw it on the news while we were packing our bags to leave that day. And we're like, so I was like, sorry, that probably would have been really cool for you, huh? Yeah. She's like, yeah, I forgot to go. Yeah. She was so bummed.
We decided we would try to maybe watch one before we went. We went in 2019,
I had no ass.
And then we just couldn't get through it. But as soon as, exactly what you said, where's the butterbeer? Because we got butterbeer, and the next day Scott's like, do you want to go back just to get butterbeer? I'm like, we'll also go on some rides. So he's like, but we'll definitely get a butterbeer. And so we had to find a place behind a wall. And I'm like, I don't understand what any of this means. Where is the Harry Potter world? And they're like, behind the wall over there. I'm like, what's the referencing? You just
the platform at the train station.
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
like, are you hiding the butterbeer? Like, why? Is it running out? Like, are you hiding it behind here? No, we didn't go in there. And I was like, looks super cool. I have no idea what any of this shit means.
Yeah. So
But,
I finally just out of nowhere one day, like, because I bought my wife the book set and the Blu-ray set when the last movie came out.
Yeah.
Both for Christmas, and it was probably 5 years later. And one day I just got home from work and I just threw one on and we watched all of them in a row. And I'm still kind of indifferent to them. Like, they get definitely better and they're pretty. Some of them are pretty interesting, but I wouldn't list it under my fandoms.
Yeah,
I think it's because of the way people pitched it to me. They're like, "Oh, you love like Lord of the Rings, so you'd love Harry Potter." Like, it's not. No, it's not any way.
At all.
Do you know that? Like, that'd be like being like, "You love Terminator, so you'd like another show just because it has a gun in it."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you'd like this police drama because you like Terminator.
yeah, you like Blue Bloods because it's got a gun.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's not as good as Lord of the Rings. That's my full review.
No, it is not.
But speaking of things, I think we've all seen, Werewolf by Night just released yesterday as of recording this.
Yeah.
What's everyone's thoughts?
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Like, after it was done, I said that was good for what it was because it wasn't like a full length movie.
It was like a little short. It's almost like a short film.
Special, like Halloween special kind of thing.
Yeah.
Pushing 50 minutes there with the credits on the end of it.
Yeah.
Kind of a little artsy almost. They really pushed the
Somewhere over the
60
rainbow?
aesthetics there. You're even putting in the what do you call it, the cigarette burn in the
Yeah.
in the when they
They had the film artifacts and the cigarette burns. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked the homage, and it didn't seem forced like I was thinking it might. Because I was seeing like I don't really watch trailers. If I'm already in for watching something, game or a movie, I'm just already in. I don't want to watch anything because I don't want anything spoiled.
Now, did you guys know as soon as you seen the monster, the eyes of the monster, did you know who it was?
Oh yeah,
I did. I had told her I think that's they ruined it for people.
Yeah, I was excited to see him. He was probably the highlight of the whole thing for me, honestly.
Yeah,
I really liked this. Like, it kept like an old school with the monochrome.
Oh, you mean Ted?
Yeah.
The monochrome was really cool, but I like how they did like kind of a Sin City style where there'd be highlighting colors, and I mean it was just
With
red.
the stone.
I was wondering if they were going to say that was an Infinity Stone at some point.
No, the Bloodstone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I only knew the Elsa Bloodstone character from Ultimate Alliance 3 because she's just randomly in there, and I had to look her up. And I'm not an absolute expert in Marvel, but I can usually piece stuff together, and I had no idea who she was. I was like, because usually my kids will be like, okay, who's that? And expect a backstory.
Squirrel Girl.
And like I was playing Ultimate Alliance 3 with my daughter, and she's like, who's that, Dad? I'm like, oh, that's and I'm Googling it so I don't let her down.
It was like trying to figure out who Charlize Theron is playing in the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
Like there's a definite dad role and a mom role when you watch a Marvel
Oh yeah, we watch anything.
Show, movie, anything, right? So the dad will give you all the backstory of the characters because he already knows, and you're like, maybe they'll even introduce this guy because he should be in this. And then the mom's like, I've seen that person before in a movie. That's where we know her. Like, I had to look up that Elsa. I had to look her up. I'm like, she looks familiar. She kind of looks like Jessica Jones, but she's not. So let's look her up. I'm like, I've seen her in Outlander. And that other dude looks like Freddie Prinze, but I know he's not Freddie Prinze Jr. That's who I was like, but yeah.
I got an Easter egg for Chris. I don't know if he knows. The Scott the Scotsman character, the big burly
Yeah.
dude. You know what else that guy has done? He's the guy on the bus in Star Trek 4 that
Oh, Thatcher. Yeah, Kirk Thatcher. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, the punk guy that Spock gives the Vulcan pinch to.
yeah, so it's the same guy. So
Yeah.
oh, that was pretty cool.
But they put him back into Picard too.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
yeah. It was it was pretty cool seeing him in there. There's what else? Actually, I was reading something about something, and I saw a couple of things that really really stood out to me. Oh, the guy who plays Ted
Mhm.
was also Black Chrysanthemum in Book of Boba Fett. So the big Wookiee guy,
Mhm.
Black
We still
Wookiee.
haven't seen Book of Boba Fett.
No, we haven't.
Have you seen Mandalorian?
Yes.
Oh, loved it.
Mhm.
That's that you're already doing better than seeing Book of Boba Fett. Boba Fett's not
yeah?
even the best part of his own show. I'll
Yeah.
just say that. I don't want to
Yeah.
spoil anything, but
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But you do need to watch it probably so when you go into season 3 of The Mandalorian, things will make sense.
Yeah,
Oh,
But you
true.
do need to watch it because things happen.
but
Yeah.
yeah, as far as like Star Wars live action Disney Plus shows, it's
Yeah,
definitely
it's probably
it's
my
definitely
least favorite.
Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, then Book of Boba Fett in
Well,
importance of seeing, I think.
when we watched Mandalorian, I was like, whatever, let's watch it. I don't care. Like
Yeah.
that's how I felt about it. And then when we got done watching it, I was like, oh my god. It's fine if he plays Joel in The Last of Us now. Like it's fine. I believe in him now.
And they did.
Yeah. It's okay. I believe
That
in
show
him.
looks so good.
I'm so excited. Like I'm so excited.
Yeah, that trailer was really good. And now I'm
I may
not
call him
watching
Stick to it
anything
by then.
that's coming out
Yeah.
until that.
I'm done. Yeah, with the spoiler, with the anything else. I'm like, I'm already on board. Let's go.
I'm just
Yeah,
hoping
yeah.
I'm hoping the Fallout show looks as good as that did when
Yeah.
it comes out.
Yeah.
So
What about? Come
Yeah,
on, the Horizon Zero Dawn show that they're going to do on Netflix,
Are they
Yeah.
doing
a live action.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
and they're also doing God of War on
Oh.
Amazon. So
and you guys have probably heard that they're remaking Horizon.
Why?
yeah,
I don't know.
What the heck?
Pointless.
That game's what, 5 years old?
Not
Yeah.
even.
I don't know.
It's like, and you have a free update for the PS5 already. So what's the point?
Talk about like a money.
People are gonna cut my head
Yeah.
off, but I think remaking The Last of Us was also not
Yeah.
like
I'm on board
as
with
perfect
that.
as it was.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
Yeah.
the remake's amazing too.
Last of Us
especially
is turning into Grand Theft Auto 5, where it's going to be has to be on every it has to be on every console.
Everyone-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just felt Church unsubscribed from my channel, but
I love The Last of Us. I'm a big fangirl. I love it. I love
loved it.
The
I
Last
loved
of Us
both of them.
2. I'm like, I don't
Yep.
care. I love it.
Yeah,
I did not buy the remake.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting my mom to get it for me for Christmas. So
Yeah.
I don't have
I'm
to
I'm
spend
waiting
money.
for Black Friday. I'll get it on
Yeah.
discount.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not paying full price for a game I already played.
Yeah.
twice.
Well, yeah.
exactly.
But I'm a little bit butthurt because I feel like we got that instead of a Days Gone 2, and I really wanted a Days Gone.
Yeah, I really want Days Gone too.
Yeah.
Also,
Especially when
So,
yeah,
yeah.
it's like exactly when you're awaiting like
Yeah.
where's the third one? Where's the another
Yeah.
thing that you guys
yeah,
only
you guys, the effort that you guys sank into this, you could have been putting into getting Part 3 prepped and getting ready to go.
Some new
Or like
ideas,
even
some
a
new
Tommy's
storylines.
DLC. Like
Yeah,
I would have
anything.
had I would have loved that. But
Anything.
I'm
Like
just
another
happy that-
another Uncharted game. I don't care. Anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a money grab thing. They're
I'm-
like, easy money.
I'm just happy that PS5 has had more actual like new games, whereas like at this point in the PS4 is just where they started putting out new
Yeah.
games. Basically, like for the first 2 years of the PS4, all it was remasters
I know.
Mhm.
of games that were a year old and
Mhm.
like re-releasing crap. So I'm happy that they've got more than a handful of actual new games. So like I haven't got a PS5 yet. I'm getting one just for God of War. And I always wait. I don't ever get a system right away. And usually God of War sells me on a new PlayStation and Gears of War sells me on a new Xbox. So
I think a Gears of War would
Oh.
sell you guys on a new Xbox.
Me and my son played
Yeah.
all
the
the
Gears.
Gears and loved the last one. It was just
oh yeah, I
friggin'
got
awesome.
Yeah.
I got Gears tattoo even. So
Oh, do they?
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I got this. Like the second tattoo my wife gave me is but like, yeah, I've played the Series X. Like actually, work has one, and I played one, and I'm like, I'm not remotely impressed with this. It just feels like I'm playing a like someone squashed down an Xbox One X. Like I don't feel anything different about
There's
this. So I'm
nothing
like,
different. No.
until there's like games that can only be played on that, I'm not
Exactly.
sold on
There's
that at all.
no exclusives at all.
And there's none. And we were sold this like beautiful dream of Xbox backwards
Let's call it
compatibility.
a lie because that's why.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted one so bad. Was I was going to be like, oh, I can put my Xbox One and my 360 away, so I can play all that shit.
Yeah, I can play
And
everything.
no.
Yeah.
No, it's like they were like, what? We never said that.
They've
And they
actually
pushed it into a corner.
they've
taking
took
games off
since because we had them, launch day. I had it, and then it was like a big deal for me with all the backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
And we did videos on how many games it was actually backwards compatible. Now, if you go look on the website, there's the number is smaller. Like there's less games. They've taken games off.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Now, there's also you go and check the website where I can't remember what it was, or where you go check the website. Is this game backwards compatible? No. Like fuck. And then I'll say, hell, that I'm going to throw it in the machine anyway, and it plays. And I'm like, well, it's not supposed to.
Yeah, it's not a very comprehensive list.
Yeah.
It's Chris's turn to go yell outside. Quit it with all the fucking crime.
Yeah. quit all the murdering.
Did you guys just take a break for like 2 hours?
But,
quit with the thieving.
Well, yeah, it's really weird how it's kind of turned around on me. Like I've always had a PlayStation and an Xbox, but like 360 gen, the 360 was easily my lead system. It's still my biggest collection of like 600 games. The PS3, I think I would have played more, but every time I went to play it, it had to update and install, and that was always like a 3-hour thing.
Yeah.
And by the time my game I put in was ready to go, I was already invested on what I'd switched on the Xbox to play in the meantime.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and then so naturally the last gen, first thing I grabbed was the Xbox One. I had it for probably a year and a half before I got the PS4.
Yeah,
and
me too.
like 6 months in, I buy games like a ridiculous amount. I'd already dwarfed my Xbox One collection with PS4 games. Like I doubled my collection in 6 months.
Us too.
Yeah.
My PS4 right now is the biggest collection I have.
Yeah.
Mine's getting there. I think it's mine's pretty much just about equal with my PS2, which was my second largest collection. So I think right now it's 360, PS2, then PS4 are my biggest collections.
My
I think
PS4,
ours is still the Xbox OG.
Original
512
Xbox,
512 games.
I mean,
On what system?
PS4.
PS4.
PS4's got an amazing library.
Yeah. It
Like
really
it
does.
completely kicked Microsoft's ass all over the fucking places.
And I like currently have. I was thinking about getting the Series X, but now I'm like, But once I guess the Bethesda stuff starts to drop, finally, might be when I reconsider it. But for right now, I'm fine with my PS5. I'm just fine with it.
Well, like when someone I don't play the console wars bullshit, but when someone's like, "No, man, Xbox is the best," like they're trying to sell me on it. I'm like, I've got more PSVR exclusives than Xbox has altogether exclusives. So shut your mouth. I was like, and I've got an Xbox, and like Xbox is clearly something I'm a big fan of. That's what I got my world record for. So like, I like Xbox. I'm not defending either. I'm just stating the facts. There's more to play on the PS4.
I just feel like since we got the Xbox One, they've been pushing more of an online and more of a PC kind of gaming style there. I feel like they're with Game Pass and everything. They want to be like the Netflix of gaming, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they're winning with that. The Game Pass is amazing.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I don't buy games as much on the Xbox. It's like, damn it, I just bought that. Now it's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what cut me down on buying movies so much. For a while there, all I was really buying was like, I know I'm going to watch this like 5 times at least. Okay, I'll buy it for movies. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, I buy all the superhero movies automatically. But now I'm like, with the Marvel movies, I'm like, I know they're never going to go away off Disney Plus. So as long as Disney Plus is affordable, I'm like, I'm still buying some of them. Like, I got to have Spider-Man. I got to have, this. But I'm like, there's like some I'm like, I'm not buying Eternals until I find it at a thrift shop for $3.
Yeah.
I'm not buying a movie I didn't really like. I'm not buying Love and Thunder, and it's for pretty much the same thing. I see someone selling it for under $5.
Exactly.
So I was like, yeah. So now it's like, man, I'm only really buying stuff just to collect it now at this point. But like some stuff, I'm like, God damn it, Lord of the Rings isn't on anything, because for a while they just drop stuff out of nowhere. You're like, Ghostbusters is always on Netflix, because I know my son is just addicted to Ghostbusters as I am. Then all of a sudden, oh, here comes Halloween. Naturally, let's get rid of Ghostbusters right before Halloween. It's like, this is why I buy things. Old man with his physical media wins. So not having to rent it on Amazon. Because if I had to rent it on Amazon, I'd be renting Ghostbusters every fucking day.
Exactly.
The kid was literally just running when I went in the house to plug in my cord so that my internet wasn't all shitty. My son was literally standing on the dining room chair, looking in the mirror, doing a YouTube video with all his Ghostbusters gear on, talking about his ghost trap. So,
cute.
Yeah, he hey guys, just so you know, I got the ghost trap, and here's my proton.
So that
test.
makes him your son.
Yeah, definitely my son.
Yeah.
Saving money on paternity test. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was right to trust her. That's my kid.
But if he breaks something in the kitchen while he's filming that YouTube video, that's not your son anymore.
No. If he breaks himself, I'm like, you should have been watching him.
Yeah. You should have been watching your kid.
Wait, you saw him up on the chair? I was like, yeah, but I thought you'd be there to catch him if you fell.
Yeah.
So,
no, we don't. Moms don't have dad reflexes. Don't put us in charge of that.
Yeah.
We're not even going to come anywhere close to catching that kid. He's going to hit the ground.
He's going to bounce at least.
That's why moms are often the caregiver, because they're all reactionary. Dads are just like, I don't want to have to mop that up.
Yeah, I don't want to have to deal with the fallout of that. I'm just going to catch him.
Yeah. I got to say, walk it off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But besides that, Werewolf by Night was awesome.
Surprised the hell out of me as a filmmaker whose name popped up when it said directed by.
I didn't even notice that.
It was directed by Michael Giacchino, who normally does music for Marvel movies.
Oh.
He's a composer by trade. He did the music for all the Spider-Man Marvel movies, for Doctor Strange,
the
Jurassic World movies.
I saw that he was working on it. I didn't realize.
All the new Star Trek movies, Mission Impossible.
Okay, I thought I saw it in passing, and I thought it said that he was just doing the music for it. I was like, well, yeah, he does the other Marvel stuff.
Yeah,
so,
and he probably talked them into saying like, well, if it's just a short movie, let me do it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward if they do more.
So that's cool seeing him branch out.
It's speaking of branching out, just seeing the MCU branch out into like their more horror stuff is really cool.
Well, I have a feeling the reason why it was in black and white was because of the gore.
Yeah. Disney.
Disney.
Yeah. Same reason why they did the black and white scenes in Kill Bill was to cover up, because the stuff that was going to be shown during those scenes would have gotten an X rating.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, but Kill Bill was still made, so I don't know. That was in black and white. That was pretty gory too.
No, but because if it was in color, it would have been rated X.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you guys something there. Watching the Marvel stuff coming out, have you sat back at any point? Because I know I have. As like Disney, you got to fuck off and let Marvel do its thing.
Yeah.
I was always at some point in every movie or show and everything. I'm just, come on, just let them. Just let Marvel do its thing.
Yeah, just a Disney moment. You're like, stop.
That was basically half of Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, yes.
I like.
You've got this serious thing going on with Jane over here, and then on this side you've got Thor trying to like play the mediator between a hammer and two hammers.
Yeah.
I know.
And I'm like, just stop.
They overdone that. It's like, okay, you can put a couple of jokes in there.
Yeah,
fine.
but
it went on.
God damn.
Oh yeah.
Even Jane trying to come up with those catchphrases was getting on my goddamn nerves.
And the persisting joke was like, oh, when it first happened the first time, when the thing was jealous, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of funny. But I'm like,
yeah, couple of them, fine, whatever.
We rewatched Ragnarok, and that back to back actually.
Ragnarok is so much better.
I worked this week, and they even retcon stuff just to like I think check a box because.
You're telling me about Korg.
Yeah, Korg in the when he first meets him, he's talking about like, oh yeah, I got thrown in here for starting the revolution, but I didn't make enough pamphlets. The only people that showed up were my mom and her boyfriend. And then the next movie, he's like, everyone in my race is men and we're all gay. And I was like,
yes,
your mom? So I was like,
yeah,
okay, okay. All right, inclusion's cool, except for when you retcon things that, like, the guy who directed it
Retconned his own thing.
retconned
That
his
he,
own
that
thing.
he wrote for the other movie.
He plays the character and directs the movie.
Yes,
and you're just like, fuck
yes!
it, no.
The thing that got me also was he was inserting himself in more of the movie,
Yeah,
and it was getting
Yeah.
annoying. I'm like, this movie's called Thor.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. I got increasingly
just-
annoyed at that movie. It was
I
more
like
and more
comedy in a Marvel movie, but time it right. Don't
Oh, yeah.
have it be a comedy. Like it's like obviously you're going to see more comedy in an Iron Man, like you just
Yeah.
are.
Like
And
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, Disney's kind of like
Yeah, and not everything has to like I said. It was felt like they're checking off a list. They're
yeah,
like, okay,
Yeah.
we need laughs every 30 seconds. We need
Yeah.
this many of this. We need this many of that. We need so many gay characters. We need so many of this. To make
yeah,
everyone happy to be like, look what we're doing. We're
Yeah.
progressive, and you're like, that's fine. I like inclusion, except for when it's like so obviously
yeah.
Just thrown.
Like,
Just felt like it's thrown in there.
when it's tacked on last minute. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care.
At that
what
point,
this is,
wouldn't it
that
be a
is, and-
slap in the face to the people that like
Yeah.
you're like, I want to be represented in a film, but
You're
we're
like-
going to do it in such a tacky way
Yeah.
that
It-
that wouldn't that be a slap in the face?
Yeah.
I would think.
I think so.
Right? Then you're just throwing it in there to throw it in there. It
Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah,
It's,
An
it's,
afterthought.
yeah,
you're an
after-
afterthought.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
as
it's just as
inclusion, you're an
insult-
afterthought.
it's just as insulting as exclusion, I'd think.
Yeah,
Yes,
really though.
really.
So yeah,
I'd rather be excluded than have it done poorly.
yeah, you're like, oh, this is kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, like, I don't know, like, I found that it's, yeah, I definitely see like the Disney moments more and more,
Mhm.
especially
Yeah.
in the series I've seen. Everyone's been complaining about this phase being lackluster compared. I'm like, you can't follow up Endgame and expect everything to build off Endgame and be even
Yeah.
bigger.
Oh, I
Because
know.
you're really not
You're
everything.
gonna
needs-
let yourself down so fast.
well, it's
Mhm.
something that Star Wars is actually seeming to finally realize. Like, not everything needs to be an entire galaxy threat to make a good movie. Like, not every
Yeah.
movie needs a Death Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can actually just have something about the characters, and you can just care about the characters and their story. Not if we don't finish our mission, everyone everywhere dies. Like, no,
And
I
you
like
need
street
that
level
character
stuff.
backstory because how am I going to get invested in that character if I can't?
Exactly. When
Yeah.
people are like,
That's why I'm liking Andor so much.
yeah, and that's why I'm
Oh, yeah.
liking She-Hulk, even though people are complaining about She-Hulk. Like,
Yeah,
She-Hulk's
like-
more of
I'm
a
kinda
sitcom.
confused.
Yeah.
She looks like a sitcom, and
Yeah.
it's like I like these characters in their world. It doesn't need to be a major threat every episode. I like where the story goes.
It feels kind of slice of life-ish, but it's like
Yeah.
slice of life of a superhero.
Twerking,
it's a bit
twerking
of a-
aside, I've liked every other part of it except for that one twerking scene.
The Torque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
It
the
felt
most
to me it was
fun-
like, well, we got her for a day. Let's use her for something else. That was a Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah,
We got her for a day. Let's throw something else in there with her.
aside from that, I've been really enjoying it. Like the comedy hits. It's not trying too hard. It's they're introducing characters that are like minor characters, but they feel lived in. They don't feel like they're just like, look who it is. Like it's not an after the credit scene that like Saracen is in here now. You're like, who even is that? Most people have to look that guy up.
I want
Yeah.
Ashley to come back or whatever her name was.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, from the
The one that was hanging out with Wong,
yeah.
the drunk girl.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it?
Awesome.
Wasn't it
But
Madison?
it's
or something?
Ashley with a Y, but not where you think, or whatever her
Yeah.
name was. I can't remember what her name was. That's not it, but
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I loved her character.
I want her to get her own show.
Oh my god, right? I'd
Well,
watch
there
her
were-
do like drunken stuff all day long. I
yeah.
don't care.
Yeah, so like, and it's actually been building to something,
Yeah.
but like people, I don't know what people were expecting from
I don't
She-Hulk.
know. I think people were pissed off that she was breaking the third wall. People
And-
were
I
really
read
pissed
that
off
too.
about
But
that.
it's one of those things where you must not be very like familiar with the She-Hulk comics because she does that kind of shit in the comics too.
Yeah.
Like not
I
only
think people
Dead-
were like, "That's Deadpool's thing."
Well,
and I'm like,
yeah,
"Eh,
no.
yeah, but
other
still.
people's things too.
He's good at it, but he didn't invent breaking the fourth wall.
But the
that's
thing
what I meant.
is, like a lot of the complaints have been about like, like, oh, we don't want a female superhero kind of thing.
Yeah,
But they're dealing with it in the show too because you got that group that are like, get her out of there.
Yeah.
And
Like,
to me, it's like they're making fun of all the trolls out there and worked it into the story of the show, which I think is awesome.
they anticipated it, and like,
Yeah.
a lot of people, sometimes they hide behind that when they literally just made a bad show or a bad movie, like the 2016 Ghostbusters for one.
Oh my god!
Where everyone's like, "Oh, people didn't just like it because it's women as Ghostbusters." Like, no, it's just not funny or a good
It's
movie.
just a bad,
It just
movie.
wasn't funny for a comedy. It wasn't funny.
I don't like watching all the characters trip over each other to be the one to deliver the one-liner.
Yeah.
That doesn't even hit and isn't funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not everyone needs to be the Venkman. We need an Egon. We need a,
Exactly. Yeah, we watched it, and I was like, Chris Hemsworth was the best part of that.
Oh,
Like,
shut up.
he was funny, and at least he was funny.
It's because he was funny, right?
He
Yeah.
was funny.
He was funny in Thor.
He was
also.
funny on the eyes.
Funny on the eyes.
He was funny in the throne room scene in the new one too.
Yeah, super funny.
Hilarious. Jen laughed so hard she fainted.
I believe
He has the funniest butt I've ever seen.
I felt bad for Chris Pratt standing beside him. I was like,
Yeah,
shit.
dude, you gotta start working out again.
I like their dynamic in those movies.
So I take it Jen's going to go see the Hulk Hogan movie starring Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, I've never seen her so hyped for wrestling ever.
He's like, what time is it? Where are we going?
See Jen standing outside the theater going, "Shaka, brah!"
I'll have my bandana and the shirt.
A Hulkamania shirt.
This is Helmsworth Mania.
Yeah.
So, as we usually do with a movie recommendation, we'll let the guests highlight the movie, and we're going to go with a Halloween theme. So, what you got for us?
Well, it was a movie we kind of stumbled upon. I think we went down a what can we watch that's scary rabbit hole.
It was last Halloween, I think.
No, it would have been
2 years ago.
Yeah, it would have been a couple years ago, and we were just like lame, stupid, gross. I don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
And then we're like, huh,
The hell.
Babadook.
Let's try this.
Let's try Babadook because I think we have been talking about it. You get so let down by horror movies nowadays.
Yeah.
That one, I don't know if it was like as good as we thought it was.
Well, that's the thing. I
or
said this
it
before
was
we started the stream.
refreshing.
It was a really good surprise because we weren't expecting it.
Yeah.
I want to watch it again just to see is it that good or was it just a surprise? And then in my mind, it's that much better than
We're
what it
really
actually
hyping it up here.
Yeah.
It might be shit, but we liked it.
On first view, you might like it with going in with zero hype. So we won't hype it. We'll just say check it out.
It's like, guys, if you want to check it out.
Yeah, I've seen bits and pieces, but I need to watch it all the way through.
I thought the acting in it was really good, especially the mom. Like,
that's good.
Yeah, it was well done. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and it was well paced.
Nothing's better than like when something catches you by surprise and then it can be something special, especially when you've never heard of it and you find it on your own. That's the best feeling.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I can tell other people to check this out now.
Well, that was like Jeepers Creepers for us.
The first time
we seen Jeepers Creepers, I was like, did that just happen? That was kind of a catch myself.
Happened.
And then part 2 happened. And then we were like, did that
I actually seen a part 3. I didn't even know they made
There's a part 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just came out. It's called Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
Oh jeez.
It got 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I
saw absolutely nothing on the first one when it was coming out.
Yeah.
And like, my girlfriend and I just went for one of those fuck it, what's there to watch movies.
Yeah.
And then we're like, I don't know, this one looks all right. Whatever, let's go check it out. And yeah, we were pleasantly surprised. Like, you said the second one happened for some reason.
Yeah, I had no interest in the first. I remember I saw the trailer and I was like, eh.
Well, that's the death of most horror franchises is they feel like someone kind of like this. Let's make 8 more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Within 6 years. You know, like,
I rented it at Blockbuster and I was just like, what?
That's
well, what was the werewolf one we saw too? That one was good.
Ginger snaps.
Ginger snaps, because
Oh,
we
yeah.
knew nothing about ginger snaps, and didn't they make a second one too?
Canadian,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh fuck! Like I
Three?
remember.
Yeah.
Canadian movie, isn't it? I believe. I think.
It
Yeah.
might
Yeah,
be.
it might be.
Canadian. Yeah, I remember when it came out. I was all like, Canada finally did something worth a shit for movies.
Yeah.
So proud of it. See that?
Did you not like ginger snaps?
Oh,
No, you didn't
no.
like it.
I hate
liked
that
when
movie. I hate
liked
it.
I like when it first came out. I haven't watched them honestly in a while.
We haven't.
I'm just like, I was just watching it going like, people don't talk like that.
You don't know Canadians.
I guess. No, I saw it on video and I didn't like it, but there's a theater down the street from me that does it. It's going to happen in a couple of weeks. They do a 24-hour horror film marathon for Halloween.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And everything's shown on film. It's not like digital. And they played Ginger Snaps there one year at like 2 a.m, and I was there for the whole night. And when it started, I was just like, "Oh, good! I can get an hour and a half nap."
Oh well, I guess we still got food bar.
But I get what you're saying when people say like that's not how people talk, and that can really take you out of a show. Because I used to be obsessed with, and I'm sorry, I'm changing the subject a little bit. I used to be obsessed with Dawson's Creek, and I used to go home on my lunch break, and I'd take my entire break just so I could drive to my house, drive back to work, like 2 15-minute breaks, and my hour lunch. I would do that shit all together so I could watch it. And now I've tried to watch it again, and I'm like, oh my God. Why?
That sounds like
People
that
don't
sounds-
talk like that.
when Dawson starts crying.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's weird rewatching something and realizing it was actually awful the whole time.
Oh,
I was so into it. It's basically sounds like the TV show version of like when I try to listen to Korn now. I'm like, I used to love this shit. What did I like? I can't even stand this now.
You're like that with
It's just like-
Nirvana.
I'm like that with Nirvana.
Yeah.
There's only
It's
a
like-
couple songs I can listen to, and the rest of it's too depressing.
There's like 2 songs I can actually listen to that don't bother me, and
Yeah.
they weren't close to my favorite songs back in the day.
And that's
Weird.
why.
It's like,
Because
wow.
you didn't play them
This
to
was-
death. So you're like, I can
like-
still handle this now.
I was like, okay, my parents might have been right when they said this was a phase, but the rest of the music I liked definitely wasn't. Most of the other stuff still holds up, but I was like, wow, Korn.
That was
was
my dad with I Mother Earth. He's like, why are you listening to this? I'm like, I love it. But he thought it was he loved all our music growing up, but he thought that was like the worst.
Oh, I got no music in common with my dad. It was
Yeah, my dad listened to Dolly Parton.
ZZ Top
Okay.
is probably the coolest. ZZ Top and Queen are probably the coolest things that my dad listens to. That like we went and seen ZZ Top together,
Oh no.
and I think I went to a Peter Frampton show with him. That was decent, but not like really something I got into. But I think the only CDs of his I ever stole were like a couple of his Queen albums and
Mhm.
a ZZ Top CD he
Yeah.
had.
I think the only thing I liked that my dad liked was Pink Floyd, but everything else was like country and Bob Seger.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah,
Like we used to listen to Dolly Parton in the car whenever we drive to Ohio to visit our family.
there's
And we
some
listened
things
to her
I
all the
realize-
way there, and I'm like,
there's some things I'll retroactively probably like to remember my dad when he's not around anymore.
Yes, yeah.
I'll hear stuff and be like, this makes me think my dad. I suddenly kind of like it for some reason. But I
That'll
was
be
like,
my mom.
until
like,
that
when,
day.
When
Until
my
that
mom's
day,
no longer here, I'll probably be able to listen to Cher. Do you believe?
oh God.
Maybe I'll listen to it once, just be like, I remember that time we listened to that for a month straight.
Just it reminds me of that South Park episode where that's how they get everyone out of the house. The police play it to deter them.
It's the worst.
Yeah,
Nasty.
it truly is.
It is. It really is.
All right. So Hellraiser. Speaking of Hellraiser, how'd you
Haven't
feel
seen
about
it.
it?
Oh.
Well, like I said, we're from Canada, and I had to pirate it just to be able to watch it.
Yeah.
So I'll probably
Now, only experience I have with the Hellraiser at all is probably the first 2 Hellraisers, and that was what, back in the 80s?
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't worry, you saw the good ones. You saw the
Yeah,
good ones.
probably-
I know, yeah.
Like,
And
I
for
like-
back then, they were like shockingly gory because I was still fairly young, not like I am today.
well, they still are
Well,
pretty gory. Like they sound
when when I was a kid, me and my brother were not allowed to watch horror movies like at all, like I was saying.
Yeah.
And then when I finally took a stand and I was like, "Fuck you! I'm watching a horror movie." The one I chose to watch was the unrated cut of Part 2. So I went fucking hardcore.
You went hard.
I'm sorry, Mom. I don't. I see what you were doing. You're just trying to protect me.
So my parents were like, "What the hell?" When I came home, they're like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "You made the mistake of copying that videotape you rented."
This is on you.
Yeah. So this is your fault.
I was pretty much the same way. I wasn't allowed to watch like we were saying earlier. Like I was allowed to watch Terminator and Commando because it's a big Arnold fan. Like action movies are okay, but the same amount of violence in a horror movie was suddenly he'll have bad dreams, and so I wasn't allowed to watch any.
Like I watched Arnold throw like a saw blade at a dude and scalp them with it.
Exactly, and shoot a knife blade into a guy's throat.
Yeah,
I can't watch Jason do the same thing. Look, it's also deterring premarital sex, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, because everybody
and drug use.
There's actual good values in this.
What's the moral of the story, Dad? Don't be a hoe.
Yeah. Keep your wits about you. Don't do drugs.
Yeah.
So like, I was watching it at sleepovers at friends' houses with parents who didn't care. But when I think it's when I turned 12 or 13, I was allowed to rent horror movies. Well, I wasn't allowed, but my mom's like, "I'll rent some for you." And then we're watching it. And my mom's like, "I remember seeing this in the theater."
Yeah.
I saw all these in the theater back in the day. I'm like, "You suck." So, that just made my mom cool because I was like, "Oh, she actually likes this stuff." She knew what she was stopping me from watching. Okay, whatever.
The 80s was one of the best generations for horror films.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of really creative shit coming out back then, like Nightmare on Elm Street. No one had done anything with Nightmare on Elm Street back then.
Exactly.
No, I know.
But Hellraiser, on the other hand, that was like, I remember I went and saw House 2 in the theater because that was considered a comedy.
Yeah.
And it was PG-13. And I remember seeing the trailer for Hellraiser before it, and it scared the shit out of me. Just the trailer.
Just the trailer.
Yeah. I have to ask you guys, is it worth being a pirate to see the reboot?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to have to be a pirate.
Yeah, I'll send you guys a cool site.
Okay.
What I use.
So I'm like a huge Clive Barker fan
I was
already.
watching it on Alex's computer.
Yes. Yeah, I'm like a huge.
I watched it on my Xbox.
Oh, you did?
Oh, okay.
Xbox.
Oh.
Still good for something.
That's the problem.
Game Pass and pirate websites.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a huge Clive Barker fan already. I've read the book that Hellraiser is based on like 6 times.
Sweet.
So I, like my expectations were pretty high when I started seeing the trailers, and I thought it has nothing to do with the first movie at all. It's not a remake at all. It's its own thing.
Okay.
It's not a remake. It's not a sequel. It's just a
reboot. It's like it even changes the rules with the box, which I thought was great.
So if you're someone who hasn't seen a Hellraiser movie,
you'll be perfectly fine.
okay. So we don't have to.
Yeah,
Honestly,
they explain what the Cenobites are and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
They like I said, it's been reinvented.
Really cool.
Oh, nice.
And I liked it a lot. I was familiar with the source material too, so I wasn't like, why did they make Pinhead a girl?
Yeah.
So
In the book, the Cenobites are sexless.
yeah, I mean he's said to be like androgynous.
Yeah, they're all like that. That's why I thought it was interesting who they cast as Pinhead.
First.
The book is interesting. It's the original movie covers the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the series. I've put up with. I don't think I bothered watching the last movie, but
What, Judgment?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The big thing about the Hellraiser movies is, I'll spare you guys so you don't have to watch them all. The big thing about the Hellraiser movies is, the first 4 got released theatrically, and the 4th one kind of bombed. So then the next
4.
What?
7 movies went direct to video.
Oh,
Okay. But they're not really Hellraiser movies. What they were screenplays that like Dimension Films had lying around that they hadn't produced, and they just inserted Pinhead into it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's like there's no Cenobites in the entire movie, and then Pinhead shows up at the end of most of them just to like go like, and the moral of the story is don't be a dick, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm like imagining some puppet theater and he just kind of pops in there.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's like he just randomly pops up at the end of the movie and be like, "Oh, by the way, you're watching a Hellraiser movie." Ha! You know.
They ADR him in.
But the funny thing is, in the 10th movie, that was Henry Cavill's first movie.
Oh, was it? Oh.
Which one's that again?
That's Hellworld. That's the one where it's all about the Hellraiser online video game.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's the last
that makes
one I
sense
bought.
now.
That's why I can watch something after that one. I started watching it and it was bad. Right
Yeah, it's horrible. It's
so
god
I can get
awful.
into it. But one of these days, I'll put it up there on my. I'll watch it the same night that I finally watched the Halle Berry Catwoman movie.
I saw that in the theater, so
I'll just ruin.
I bought the Adventures of Batman, the Batman and Robin animated series box set. It came with a free ticket for Catwoman. I said, I'm not going to let it go to waste. So I went. Was I happy? No. But at least I could walk out of that theater saying I did not pay for this.
Yes. You're one of very few.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'll ruin a whole ass night and just watch both those back to back.
Just waste a night. Then Jason could text me, I'm suicidal.
Yeah.
Did you watch?
Talk me down from this ledge.
Did you watch the 10th Hellraiser and Catwoman in the same night, like you said? Yeah.
Bro, I still got those comics. It's not worth it. There's a light at the end of this tunnel. Yeah, so I really liked it. Without going into detail, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I really liked the redone Cenobites, the way they were done. I liked that their outfits aren't just like leather daddy costumes.
Yeah, dominatrix outfits.
With the stomach cut out so you can see the guts or something. Like, it's basically their own skin.
Yeah, they've been flayed.
Flayed. And
Oh.
it's pretty
like
cool.
Like the character who is Pinhead looks like they're wearing a dress, but it's really the skin from their legs that is just hanging off of their waist over their legs.
Yeah, it's pretty metal.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome.
Yeah. So like it was kind of slow for a bit in the middle there, but I still enjoyed it overall.
The final like scene of the movie is just like whoa.
Yeah.
And it has potential to go places for sequels.
Nice.
Because when you find out what the new rules of the box are, and they've only shown you 3 of the things it can do. In this one, there's still places they can go, so they can show you the other 3 things it can do.
Nice.
So they'll stretch the next one across 3 movies.
Yeah.
We'll get 10 more movies out of it. Well, there is actually supposed to be that series coming out also.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a Hellraiser show coming up, but I wonder if it's going to be like an anthology thing, like the comics used to be.
Yeah, you never know. Like a Hellbound Heart. It wasn't called the Hellbound Heart.
The book was called The Hellbound Heart, but like the comic books.
Oh yeah, comic book.
The comic books were like an anthology, like they loosely had to do with the box.
Bunch of short stories, like kind of like Creepshow
style,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So that's pretty sweet. Yeah, the Mario Brothers trailer came out. That actually it's cooler than expected. But also I saw who was working on it.
Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I had no interest because of the other movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter were watching.
I might have just bought it, by the way.
My daughter asked because I saw it and I was like, everybody gather around. The trailer is out.
It's a family moment.
And we all watched it. And my daughter goes, "Has there ever been a Mario movie?" And I was like, "No."
Oh
No.
Cartoon,
You just don't even talk about it.
It's a cartoon show.
Yeah.
She can be mad at me later and then watching and be like, "Oh, you were so right, Dad. There was never a Mario movie."
You were just trying to.
Hey, but there was a Super Scope in it.
I don't remember anything about.
I don't
that
really
movie,
remember it a whole
'cause
lot.
I'm pretty
I know
sure I only
saw
ever
it.
seen it once.
Yeah.
And it was
You-
I saw it in the theater. We waited until the dollar theater because I read the reviews when it came out, and I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
I made my parents pay full price to take me to the theater to see it.
Ah,
Well, they wouldn't let me have a Nintendo, so the least they could do is bring me the Mario movie. And I was like, "Yeah, maybe it's not so bad not having a Nintendo."
I don't need one if this is what it's like.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
Give me a Sega.
Yeah. That trailer, though, I mean,
Yeah,
it looks good.
Well, it's just
Well, you guys got to see me react to it.
Yeah,
because
we got
I
our
had
own.
one-
We got our own personal reaction video.
You got your own reaction video live, and
Yeah,
I giggled sometimes, so it was good.
Yeah, and I knew who was making it. They made didn't they also
Despicable
make the
Me.
Angry Birds? Did they also
They make the
the
Despicable
Angry
Me movies.
Did they also make
okay.
the Angry Birds movies too?
I think so. I bet Illumination. Yeah.
Yeah, and I give
Oh, okay.
I give no shits about Angry Birds, but the Angry Bird, at least the first one, I thought was really good. The second one was not
I
as
don't
good.
even know if I saw the second one. I saw
Yeah, the
I've
first
never
one.
seen the first
Yeah, the
But
first one was
honestly,
funny.
It didn't make me want to play Angry Birds anymore.
No.
But like I was like, wow, like my kids, I don't know. Then we saw the trailer when we went to another movie, and the kids were like excited for it. So we took them to that, and I was just like, yeah, here we go. I shouldn't be so not excited to see a video game movie. And I was like, that was actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
So if they can do, when I heard that, and I was like, if they can do that with Angry Birds, I'm sure they can do a serviceable job with Mario.
Yeah.
And then I heard Chris
Yeah.
Pratt, and I was like, odd choice, but I'll allow it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's working out. I was like,
I think it's
like
gonna
we're
be good. Yeah.
saying, it would
It looks
be
like they got
really
the tone right. They got
Yeah.
the characters. The characters at least look like the characters.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even though Mario does look a little bit like not Wreck-It Ralph, Fix It Felix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if they do as well as they did with the trailer, I think it'll be a good movie.
I think so too.
Chris Pratt
Like-
actually fits better than I thought he would. Jack Black
Yeah.
sounds awesome as Bowser.
Yeah.
We have yet to see most of the other characters, but yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty awesome movie. So
Yeah, Nintendo's
I'll
directly
find out.
involved with this one too, so they had to say
Oh,
so.
Yeah.
They learned their lesson at least.
Well,
I
yeah,
was excited when you guys told me when I said, "Who does Charlie Day play?" Because I haven't dove deep into like really. I didn't
Yeah.
want to spoil it. I didn't want to get my mind made up for me by someone else, by somebody else's say so. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just hearing too much stuff, then I'm going to take that as my opinion, and I don't want that. So when you guys told me Luigi, I was like, okay, yeah. Like I feel like that's a good idea.
hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sold.
kittens!
I'm sold already, and I'm not going to watch anything moving forward
Yeah.
until the movie
I think
comes
that's
out.
probably the
So,
best idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch any more trailers unless it plays at a movie I'm at.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to have to avoid it like when the Spider-Man trailer was playing, and I'm like actively
Yeah.
turned right around to not see it when I'm in the theater for I think it was Ghostbusters.
So
I just got too excited and knocked my my headphone jack out of my.
yeah, it's been a while since I've been excited about a cartoon. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you are not me, sir.
I think what the last cartoon would have been like feature film cartoon.
Oh, I don't know.
I would have been excited for.
it's been a while for me.
I'm increasingly excited for X-Men '97. I need it to come today.
Wow.
They're
They're redoing it.
Continuing it.
they're continuing the '90s X-Men animated series
Oh,
with all the same people that are still alive.
that's awesome.
So
I never knew that.
Yeah. so-
Oh, yeah.
We just made him. We just made his night.
the first
I
thing
was just excited to see that there was a new Deadpool coming out and that Wolverine was going to be in it. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, yeah. It only took 6 years of constant harassment.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
only harass the
You
ones
know,
you love.
it's been the plan the whole time. You know.
Hey, Chris, you harass the ones you love, and
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds
And
is
then-
basically just me in the situation. You get to be Wolverine, man.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm glad that it finally worked out. That was a very pleasant surprise.
Mhm.
Yeah, you want to be in Deadpool 3? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, they got to do something while they're keeping us waiting. Apparently, like 4 more years before any actual X-Men stuff's coming out.
Yeah.
The X-Men movies. They're not quite.
I'm looking forward to the MCU X-Men movies.
Yes.
They're fine. Oh, the X-Men movies are kind of like they're hit and miss, but they're like if you try to watch them in any continuity, they're weird. But if you watch them as like a solo movie, you're like, okay, this isn't going anywhere. But they know they introduce like characters like 3 times and then don't do anything with them. Like we saw Jubilee in like 3 different movies and she never did anything, which I'm fine with because fuck Jubilee. Where's X-Men?
Yeah.
But like they
Just talk to Lacey.
Yeah, they did Gambit. She's still mad.
She's still mad at me.
Because
when Do You Nerd were the guests on the show and we were talking about X-Men and she was like, fuck Jubilee, I hate Jubilee. When I made the thumbnail for that episode, I found a picture of the cartoon X-Men and there were 4 characters in the shot. 2 were men, 3 men. There was 3 men and 1 woman.
Yeah.
the only woman in that shot was Jubilee. So I put her head on Jubilee. And Tom texted me, he's just like, when she saw the picture, she's like, did this motherfucker just make me Jubilee?
I love them so much.
She is they're so much fun to hang out with. I hung out with them at Mo GameCon. They're so fun.
Oh yeah.
I hope we can meet up at some point. But I gotta say, Lacey was the most enthusiastic about my action figure pickups that anybody has been yet. So
yeah,
we need to have them back soon.
It was like,
just as stoked as me. I know. And I think we sold her on some. She's like, cool,
I need that.
I'm looking that up right now and buying it. I'm not waiting for later.
I can totally see that. I can totally
pretty
see
cool.
that.
oh man.
Well, speaking of pickups, let's do a quick She-Hulk discuss, and then maybe we should show some pickups.
Yeah.
Nice segue.
So we were talking already about how much we've been enjoying it, so it's just going to be kind of a brief thing. But I think this has been ramping up, and that last episode,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
everyone
really
knew
digging
that.
it.
Everyone that's paying attention anyway knew that Daredevil was going to be there at some point.
I didn't think she would bang Daredevil, but
Matt Murdock fucks.
The walk of shame made me laugh. I laughed out loud at that one.
oh, when he did the walk of shame and barefoot outside, I was laughing. I had like tears in my eyes. I was laughing so hard.
You know what I say to Scott almost every episode up until the last couple episodes? I'm like, how hot are the women where she lives that she can't get any? Like nobody wants her. She's not unfortunate looking. What is going on? Like,
And then she
that's
bangs
what
the
I
blind guy.
Yeah.
Well, at least you know she smells good then, because he's got a heightened sense of smell. So I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Apparently, a lot of people are upset that Daredevil did that, but I'm like,
oh yeah.
hey, he's got to come back with a bang. What did
Yeah.
with a bang.
So yeah,
I'm glad that they've kept Charlie Cox as Daredevil and didn't recast him. I'm
Yeah.
so glad they kept him because he was perfect.
John
Oh, yeah.
Barenthal. I can't wait to see him come in at some point.
Yeah.
I've been really surprised what they did with Blonsky in this show.
I was too, yeah.
Funny, yeah.
Oh my god, that
I
is
got-
so funny.
I got some big ideas about probably what's happening in this next episode, but I don't want to talk about it in case someone else.
What, the Red Hulk thing that they brought up in the last episode?
Maybe some other Hulk or something. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, it's too.
As long as it's not Hulk Dogs or Hulk Dad.
Yeah, that's Absorbing Man,
Yeah.
which is not Absorbing Man at all from the comics.
No.
Yeah, it was. Let's not talk about that. Ooh. I need a shower.
It's like so gross.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, pickups. I'm sitting in front of a stack of stuff, but what I want to see is what you guys got.
All right.
We got some
Is that-
stuff.
Got some stuff.
Ooh.
Stuff.
Do tell.
All right.
Well, that's not new. That was just a game we played. So
Could be-
throw
could
that
be-
shit to the side.
It could
Alright.
it could be anything.
All right.
You collect.
So Jen's gonna talk about that one first.
I got this one, but we talked about it earlier, I think. I finally beat
Fear.
this game because
Ooh.
I want to do a ranking of all the survival horror games I played this year. And 13 was like a great number. So this had to be game number 13. So yeah, I like
Besides that,
Have you played Cursed Mountain yet?
66
I
is the
haven't
only
played
other
Cursed
pretty
Mountain.
metal number for a horror game.
Yeah, that's a weird one that takes place in Tibet.
oh yeah?
Oh,
I
yeah.
almost put it on my list.
Which
I
one?
thought you did.
Cursed
Did I
Mountain.
put Cursed-
Oh yeah, I got that on the Wii, I think.
Yeah, it's on the Wii.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was a
I
couple
talked
other ones
two
on the
people
Wii
into
that-
buying that when we went to Wisconsin.
Oh yeah?
Yep. I got Captain Algebra to buy it. And
I just had to
I
have
think
it.
Tiger Chainsaw bought it too.
I had to have it because a few people had talked about it. I was like, fuck it, let's get that game.
Oh, drop shit.
Sweet.
No, you didn't drop it. Nothing went on the floor.
I got digging into the DVD bin, the Blu-rays. They had a whole bin that was just Halloween themed
Yeah.
stuff.
Ooh,
So
that's the best kind of bin. I want to dive in
For
that like a ball pit.
$2 for a Blu-ray or 99 cents for a DVD.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell, why not?
Just garbage bag it all up and sort it out later.
Ouija.
Oh,
Have you seen the second one?
I don't think
No.
No.
Have you watched what's that show with the priest that's on Netflix? With the vampires.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. We watched a little bit of that, did we not?
And the house on the Haunting of Hill House.
I love Haunting of Hill House.
The guy that directed Haunting of Hill House directed the sequel to that.
Oh yeah.
And it is so good.
Really?
There's a new show out on Netflix that same director of Haunting of Hill House.
He did that show about the vampires about the priest that I was talking about, and then he's got another one coming out.
Yeah, the one with the kids in the in the hospital. And they tell each other ghost stories. Like literally came out. Wait, what day are we?
Saturday.
8th?
It might have been yesterday.
Ooh.
Okay.
Might have
check
been.
it out.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing after the stream tonight.
I'm sure you guys have heard of the Crazies.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Jen hasn't seen it.
I still need to watch
swear
the
she
original
has.
because that's the remake. I still need to watch the original.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen the original either. And then there was a couple of haunting movies. A Haunting in Georgia.
My brother worked on. I think is that the
And then the other one was
Ghost
a Haunting
of-
in Connecticut.
Ghost of.
is that the Haunting of Connecticut, the Ghost of Georgia, or something?
No.
Okay, never mind.
This one just says based on true events.
Okay, never mind.
They're all based on true events.
Yeah, apparently.
They'll happen.
And that was
for
it for
real.
movies, and then it's games after that. So
Yeah.
we picked up this one here because it's 4-player Warhammer
Chaos Bane.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I picked that up,
PS5.
I've played Warhammer, the actual tabletop thing, once, but I have all the fucking games. I don't know why.
It's very the
They're
gameplay
drunk,
I've
dude.
seen looks like very much like Diablo. Stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why
There's
I thought
those
it
games there's like one that I have that's a first person shooter. There's ones that are strategy games, and then there's
Yeah.
dungeon crawls and stuff. It's weird.
So I got a big box of one Chanabera.
On a Chambara.
Yeah.
I never said.
Yeah.
However
I
you
played-
pronounce that thing.
Yeah.
I snagged that at E3 when I went. Actually, they had their own like booth there. And
Oh, really nice.
I
There's
snagged
one
a
for the
couple
Wii
things.
too, I think.
This
There's one
next,
for the 360 also.
Yeah.
But
this next
Yeah, I
game,
have the 360 copy.
this next game, we actually traded away, and it was the only game we traded that I was like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of a little bit disappointed that we traded that, and then
I
we
miss
ended
it.
up finding it for like half the price at our local pawn.
Ah.
Oh, dear.
Ah.
Oh wait, we really want a Valkyrie profile.
No, I mean, like, I want that game. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying. Like,
yeah.
ah.
Yeah, it goes for a lot
But
now.
even
When I
because
Yeah.
I can't believe you traded that away, but then we got it for like
I was always seeing that at like half price books for like $5, $6, $7, and then COVID
Right.
hits, and now it's like 100.
Yeah.
Right?
It's stupid, right?
or same thing with 3D dot game heroes, like
Yeah.
$5
Yeah, I
all day
got-
long, and now
I
it's
got it.
not.
I got it for $2 at my Walmart, and there's a stack of
Nice.
them. But I wish I would have known.
He thinks you're number one.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known. I would have. I would have hooked you up. It was
So our pawn shop
Yep.
brought in a whole whack of limited run stuff that was still sealed.
Ooh.
Of course, I had to pick some of it up. So I have E's Origin.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a fun one.
And then I got in on that too. And I picked up Shadow Complex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Yes.
I like that when it came out on 360.
Yes.
Stealth, a clone in the dark.
Oh yeah, I had that for my Vita.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Yeah.
It
It looks,
looks like a goth minion.
yeah, he does.
Yeah,
He
it
totally
does,
does,
doesn't he?
right?
Yeah.
But he
But-
got a little bit of liposuction under the chin.
Yeah, it looks like a cross between a minion and what's that movie 9
Yeah.
with the guy with the glasses. Kind of
Yep,
looks like a
yep,
cross
yep.
between the two
Yeah.
of those.
Now,
I'll have to
Jen, you
watch
want
that
to
again. I
crack
should-
at pronouncing this?
Oh no. No.
Atelier, but I can never pronounce the last part
Atelier,
of
yeah.
it.
Atelier Ferris.
Atelier, yeah. So,
Yes. It's the
Millennia?
big box version that has soundtrack.
That's
or
cool.
whatever there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I gotta.
snag that.
I have like the 3 for the PS2,
Some
Oh,
kid
yeah.
was-
and I have 1 for the PS4, I think.
I got 3 of them.
There's like 500 games in that series.
Yeah,
When Scott was going through the games over here in the corner, I swear he read my mind. I'm like, save that one for last. And then he put it to the side, and I was like, oh, we're communicating.
And I got SNES inbox
Ooh,
That's
that's
fire.
fire. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it
So-
came up on the daily deals at our pawn shop, and I just glazed over it. I'm like, we don't collect complete in bond. So I didn't
Not
tell
typically
Scott about
because
it.
It's so expensive.
And then we got there, and he's like, I really want that. And I'm like, well, then get it. I'm not going to tell you not to get it. How am I going to be your enabler if I say no?
Right.
There we go.
So that's
I wish-
our pickups
you,
anyway.
you
for-
belong on the you belong on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish I had pawn shops around here that would sell that kind of stuff.
We
Just-
are very
is-
Yeah,
lucky.
we got
They just sell like crappy jewelry and like stolen toilet paper and shit.
to.
Yeah, I thought you guys were gonna know my feels about not having anywhere to go to get stuff. It sounds like you guys got a good support system
We're
around
lucky.
you.
Yeah,
That's
we're
We do.
pretty good.
We,
you
we
get
definitely do.
comics on the weekly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even get like one or two around here anymore. There's nowhere that sells comics.
We-
in my town.
My comic store actually they moved to a new location and now
Yeah.
it's a 2-story thing where it's like all comics on the bottom and then it's like
Tabletop. on the-
tabletop
yeah.
stuff
Upstairs.
upstairs.
Magic cards and all that.
Oh yeah, and they have a
Nice.
whole room to play games.
They've
It's
got
fucking
the
fun.
whole side of the building is this big Fantastic Four
Oh,
mural.
spray painted mural,
Yeah,
like it's
beautiful.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Canada.
That sounds like I think a lot of like shops like that get into the card stuff because they're like that keeps the lights on, man.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
does,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
People
it
come
definitely
like
does.
people if you carry Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Magic, you're good.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah.
The comics are like a side hustle at that point, even though you call yourself a comic store.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
A lot of small like game stores do the same thing. They're like, yeah, this is what keeps us open.
Oh well, our game.
I know
store-
nothing about it, but kids
Yeah,
like it
same.
kind of thing.
They-
That's weird.
Like Parlor Pawn just started getting in Magic,
Yeah.
and like it's flying off the shelf, just
Yeah.
flying. And while you're there, you might pick up a game or two. Like
You're gonna see
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
else, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know they had that here.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's like some places you go and they're like, oh yeah, they used to collect games. No, they just got like a case at the back and it's all cards and tabletop. And they're like, damn it, I didn't come here enough. Yeah,
Exactly. I'm sorry.
That's
So,
it for our pickups, boys.
Yeah, that was like
Next.
not a
Chris,
lot.
what do you got?
Oh, so I was talking about the D&D stuff. So in preparation, I bought some new books. So I bought the Call of the Netherdeep, which is like an adventure,
Cool.
and this Spelljammer set, which is like 3 books. It's so you can
I
play.
see how thick that is, and I like.
It's a thick
oh,
boy
Yeah.
with
that
2
was nice.
C's.
So just to
Uh,
be clear, you don't have a problem. You bought that for this episode.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. See, I'm fine with that. Like,
Well,
but this is a D&D in space, so I'm hoping I can like maybe pivot our game into outer space land at some point.
Yes. Someone gets
Um,
hit hard enough by a ogre club that they fly into space and they
Yes. For movies, I picked all the new horror stuff I've gotten
I'm back.
lately. So I'm on 4K completely now. So I picked up the remake of Evil Dead
nice.
in 4K.
See, I
Love
still
that
like.
one.
I prefer the original.
Really,
Yeah.
I can't stand the original.
No.
I love it all. I love
Yeah.
that new one. That's out of all the reboots and like.
I like just that it was so different than the original movie.
That one, I love that it's like
And it
on its
rained
own.
blood.
I'm all
Um,
about that one. I recommend it all the time.
I picked up Child's Play 2 and 3 on 4K.
Nice.
I remember always liking part 2, and it still holds up. And I remember not liking part 3 all that much, and that opinion still
Still there.
is the
I-
same.
I
I
am
remember-
going to make a Chucky painting someday. Like I have so many different images of Chucky saved on my computer. I'm like, I want to paint that. Maybe I'll paint that one. Oh, that one's cool too. And
Do
like,
a
I have
collage
to-
of the different paintings and they make
Oh,
one big
that'd
Chucky
be
face.
cool. I want to do that one time with the Joker. I want to do the Joker through the entire stages. I was like, that Joker and the Jack Nicholson Joker. I'm like, yeah.
Hell yeah!
That would be
Yeah.
cool.
You can just leave out the Jared Leto one.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I also picked up The Fog on 4K,
Nice.
which is one of my favorite John Carpenter movies. I have to watch this again for Halloween, even though I
can't.
watched it last Halloween.
I can't remember the last time I seen that movie.
Oh god, this is like I love John Carpenter, and when I was a kid, I always avoided this one because I always thought this poster was stupid.
All right.
It's just
What?
dumb. So I always avoided it, and then when I
You know
finally
what,
realized, I'm
Jeffrey?
like, oh, I've seen all of them. That's the only one I haven't seen yet, so I rented it, and I was like, I'm a goddamn idiot. I also picked up Dog Soldiers on 4K.
Oh,
Never
haven't seen it.
It's the guy who did Doomsday. He did The Descent, the remake of Hellboy. It was the first movie he made. It's a werewolf movie about a bunch of Scottish soldiers that are like off on like some training thing in the woods, and they get attacked by a pack of werewolves.
You're not selling me on the remake of Hellboy.
But it's actually really cool. I've seen all that. The dude who directed this, Neil Marshall, he directed episodes of like Game of Thrones and stuff too. I had seen all of his movies except for this one, and then I went to that 24-hour horror film marathon I was talking about, and they showed it on film. And I was like, well, this is the best way to see it, and I'm glad it was my first time, so
Nice.
it made me a fan.
I don't remember what got me to watch it. I think I just ended up renting it when it came out.
It has a real cool twist in it, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty
And
sweet.
then the big one I got is this steel book of the 4K of Poltergeist.
Oh.
And holy shit, does this movie look awesome in 4K? Oh my god.
Really?
I love
That's
it.
one I haven't seen in a long time.
It's probably been
For
since
something
the
that was
80s.
made in the 80s. I watch it and I'm like, how did this get a PG rating?
Oh yeah. Eh?
Yeah.
That dude ripping his own face off. I'm like, no.
That was PG in the 80s when kids weren't as soft.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But like the movie's still like it's so well made that like I love the characters in the movie. It's like the mom is like, I call her like super mom of the century. She just there are so many times she almost died for her kids in this movie. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want
but-
to make my kids suffer.
I should have taken a picture of
You want to guilt them into loving you more. Just make them watch this movie. It's like the things us mothers do for you kids.
Exactly.
But for games, I got a lot of this stuff when I was in Wisconsin. I picked up Super Mario Land 2
One of the
on the
best.
Game Boy. Yeah. I've been looking
Definitely
for
the
this
best
for a
Game Boy
long
one.
time. But I finally got it.
That's one of my most beat games, I'd say. When
Oh,
I
really?
only owned a Game Boy.
Are the pages of the instruction manual stuck together?
Me and my friend. No, it wasn't even mine. One of me and my
Whoa.
friends all had like 1 or 2 games each for our Game Boy because it was like grade like 5, 6 maybe. So I'd trade my Link's Awakening that came with my Game Boy, and I'd get either Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan or Mario Land 2. We just were always trading it in circles. So
Did you get
I'd
stuck
be
with
like,
the worst one at the end? Because
No.
that's what happens here.
Oh, I got it back. I still have it. Still have my copy. It's the first game I ever owned, so I wasn't letting it go
nice.
nowhere. So yeah, I got lucky. I was one of the only people who had a Game Boy and never had Tetris for it. I never had Tetris for the Game Boy until I started collecting as an adult.
Oh, really?
Like I got mine was the bundle that came with Link's Awakening. It never came with every other bundle came with Tetris and maybe
Tetris.
another game. Yeah, so my friend chose very wisely when he bought me the Game Boy for my birthday. So super lucky.
Nice.
Yeah, when I went to Wisconsin, TJ Kitsune was with us, and he asked me, he's like, "Oh, so what are you looking for? Like on the trip?" And I was like, "Well, I'd like to get at least one boxed Game Boy game because I just played through my roulette game, and I was kind of like on a little Game Boy kick.
Yeah.
I was like, I at least want to find one boxed Game Boy game, and I'm just glad it was this one."
Hell yeah.
I also picked this up at Freak Toys. I've never heard of this before, so I bought it because I think it's like it was made in 1990, so this is like a super late 2600 game. It's called Sentinel,
Sweet.
Yeah.
and I've never heard of it. And I looked at the date on it, and it says made in 1990, and I was like, that's like almost Super Nintendo time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
All that makes me think of is Sentinels from X-Men and the song by Judas Priest. So
Nice.
that'd be
Well,
pretty cool.
The thing that got me was when I brought it home and I was looking into it, it says on the back for one player for use with the Atari 2600 or 7800 system because 7800 was backwards compatible.
Yeah.
And it requires an Atari light gun.
What the hell?
What the hell?
When was there an Atari 2600 light gun?
Don't know. Never seen
Well,
one.
this requires it.
That's so
Hell,
crazy.
now you're on the hunt
And
for
I
it.
said, oh my
Right,
God,
because-
I'm glad I bought this because I can't play it, but I probably have one of the only games that requires a light gun for the 2600.
I bet you
I
you could
wonder
trick it with a
Next
TV
year would
remote.
the clicker.
That
I'm assuming
Really
maybe the
don't really
7800 might have had one at some point,
Must.
but the
Yeah.
2600, no. So that's bizarre. So I'm just glad I have that in my collection now because that's awesome. I picked up some new aftermarket Dreamcast games since I already have my Dreamcast collection completed.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So I'm just going after all this extra stuff. So we got Volgar, the Viking,
Fuck, that looks
Nice.
which is
metal.
like it's
We
like
got
a
two.
Yeah.
side-scrolling
If we
adventure
got
game.
two, I'm gonna be needing one.
Ooh, they had a couple copies if that store we went to.
Sweet.
I picked up Captain Tomaday, where he plays a giant tomato with wings. It's like a platformer, like Rayman.
As you do.
And Bang. Okay, so this is weird.
You had me at Bang. What is it? Is that a new Daredevil game?
This is known as
Yeah.
Bang. Yeah, this is known as Bang Bang Busters,
Okay.
and it's like playing. It looks like
The Bang
Bubble
Busters, is that what
Bobble
you said?
almost, right?
Love
But
Bubble Bubble.
on the cover, it's called Bang Squared Busters. So they didn't want to put this bang on there twice, so they just put Bang Squared.
It's indie and ink is
Bang to the
expensive.
second
But
power.
yeah, it's like I said, it looks like you're playing Bubble Bobble almost.
Yeah, it does.
Sweet.
So I had to pick that up. They had a couple more that I would have bought, but I didn't want to go into debt. For PS5, I picked up the Cowabunga collection.
Hell yeah. Well,
Which
to
I'm
get one
playing
of mine
through.
out of the way, I also got Cowabunga Collection. And
The big. Well, I'll save the big deal for later. For PS4, I picked this one up called Death End Request,
Okay.
which I had never heard of, and it
I was
looks
actually-
like
I was
an
looking at
action
that.
RPG.
Yeah, I was looking at that last time. I was at GameStop, but it wasn't a deal, so I didn't. I was
Yeah,
like, I'm not taking my
I never
chance
heard
on
of
full
that.
price.
And TJ Kitsune talked me into this one. I guess it's only available for the PS4, and it's going to be only available for like a limited time.
Motherfucker,
And it's
what?
called this Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Burst Forth Korogan Breath.
Wow, that is a mouthful.
That's definitely
And I-
Japanese.
Yeah, and it definitely sounds like some sort of like porny, visual novel. No, it's a vertically scrolling bullet hell shooter.
Okay. There we go.
Don't worry, there'll be a scene at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you won the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then the big deal.
We played when we were done playing. I was like, "There's a bathtub
That's-
scene." And
That's the real Bang Bang Busters.
Bang Bang Busters.
But the big deal I got was we went to this store called The Pad that Tiger Chainsaw introduced us to, and I got a sealed copy of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War for $27.
Wow.
Rip
This
off.
is still going for $70 at the
Yeah.
at like Best Buy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got a deal.
Yeah,
And this is the first Call of Duty game I've bought since World War II.
My rule of Call of Duty is $10 or less,
Yeah.
and I still.
I wasn't going to pass that up because I'm never going to see this for that cheap. For at least a couple more years.
Yeah, I'm only 2 games behind despite that. I remember I commented.
Yeah, you
on
always do that.
at some point, and someone's like, "Good luck getting it before it's 10 years old." It's like at that point, I was like, "I only don't have the one that just came out a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can win."
I haven't owned any of them since World War II was the last one I bought. Because the one after that was Black Ops 4, which had no story mode, which is why I didn't buy it, and I haven't bought one since.
I wasn't planning on getting that at all until the neighbor kid just came over. He's like, "Hey, you want some of these?" It's like, some of these.
Yeah.
If you're giving them away, I want all.
Give
of
me
them.
all of them.
I'll
Use that
take
to
them
match
if
your
you mow
word.
my
Free.
lawn.
If you're throwing them-
Yeah.
if you're throwing them out, I'll take out your trash.
And that's my pickups.
That just reminded me of my neighbor who got a PS5, and I called him out over the fence, and I was like, "Hey, saw you flexing on me with your recycling the other day." It's like, what?
No,
Yeah.
the box is in the trash.
The PS5
My
box
box is sitting right up there.
the PS5 box
Yeah,
is just
we can
chilling
bear
on top
storage.
of this blue box, and I was like, "That motherfucker's." I was like, "I bet you he was just out there like looking in my window."
Yeah.
Good. Hey, just so the sun catches it just right, so it reflects a little bit into your window, so you'd have to look out
When
to
I'm
see what's
looking the other
causing it.
way, when I'm looking the other way, it just shines. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
and he's like, "Oh yeah," he told me this whole story. "Oh, I had to get like my friend in Texas to get it, and then he shipped it to me, and I still saved money on what I would have had to pay locally." So I was like, "Oh damn, I hope I don't have to go through that kind of."
Well, I have a weird story about how I got mine too. So
I was a stalker. I just stalked Walmart's Twitter like it was my full-time job.
Yeah.
I did that for a vacation. That was not fun.
I was in the group chat, so I remember the fuck's sakes. I just wasted another 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, see, you have to have many family members online at the same time, and you got to be willing to get an extra one by mistake.
3 of us going at it.
I'm one of those that I'm just like, I don't need it yet. When I want something, I will get it.
I guilted somebody into getting one for me.
And if I can't get one, I know where there's one close by, and I know when he goes to work. So
yeah, a guy that I work with, a friend of his had like 6 of them.
Yeah.
And he was raffling them off, and this guy that I work with won one. And he knew how badly I had told him the story about me spending 2 weeks on my vacation, actually wasting my entire vacation trying to get one online. Mm-hmm. And when I found out he had one, I was like, "Oh, can I buy it off you?" Because he doesn't play games at all. He only did the raffle to see if he would actually win.
Yeah.
So when he won, I'm like, "Can I buy it off of you?" I'm like, "I'll buy it off of you for what it's worth plus 50 extra bucks." And he's like, "I gave it to my nephew." And I was like, "You know how badly I've been trying to get one of those." He's like, "Well, my nephew got good grades this semester, so I gave it to him." I'm like, "Oh man!" I'm like, "Okay, whatever."
Man, I got such good grades.
And then he won another one.
What?
And I go, "You're gonna sell me this one, right?" He's like, "I gave it to my other nephew." I'm like, "You son of a bitch!" I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "You know how badly I've been trying to get one of these things?" He's like, "It's my nephew, man." I'm like, "Okay, fine, whatever." Fine.
Bad grades since his brother.
Did he win a third one?
No, he actually went to the guy who was doing the raffle. He goes, "Dude, just let me buy one off of you so I can sell it to this guy I work with so I can get off my back." So he goes, "Just give it to me the way you said, like for the original price plus $50."
There's no reason to have kitchen knives where we work, but he's been sharpening one for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and he goes, "Don't tell anybody. I don't want to be known as the PS5 guy." And all of a sudden, 30 people are coming up to me trying to get one from me.
Word on the streets, I was
like, "Okay."
People walking up to him in trench coats, all shady.
Yeah.
Do you got the stuff?
So, but he asks me every Monday. He asks me, "How much did you play it this week?"
Don't worry, I got my money's worth.
Yeah.
All right, so without further ado, I better get the hell into my pickups.
Oh, God, here we go.
So, not a lot of movies, but about the motherfucking Beetlejuice. I saw this like 2 years ago around Halloween. I already had
Beetlegeist.
way too much stuff in the cart at the time, so I was like, I'll get it later. They usually carry this for a while. No, it was just a seasonal thing because Halloween was coming up, so I was all pissed off. So I looked it up on Amazon. It was like $60. This was $15. So nice. Yeah, we were watching it off an external drive for a while, and the kids loved it. So I knew it was a good investment.
That was one of my favorite cartoons.
Even if the kids hate it, I don't care. I bought it for me.
Yeah, I loved that show when I was a kid.
A couple of games. Like I said, I got the Cowabunga Collection 2. Conquered that shit. That I gotta say that trophy list was straight up lazy. It was just beat every game, then you got a platinum. It was dumb.
That's what I
mean that's a platinum for me. That's
They get the Cowabunga.
Nothing.
Get the Cowabunga Collection. Then all you need to do is beat all the games.
Well, I was like, listen, guys.
Some of them aren't fun.
I was like, listen, guys. I platinumed Astrobot. Yes,
I platinumed Cat Quest.
I basically just did what I did last March because last March, I think it was March, Cartridge Club's Game of the Month was they were doing a Ninja Turtles month.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, okay, it's Turtles in Time, Turtles the arcade game, and I think the first one on NES.
I think it was Hyperstone.
Oh, Hyperstone Heist was like their highlight, what they were mainly going for, and I was like, fuck that shit. I'm going to beat every handheld and console Ninja Turtle game ever. And then I did.
And he did.
I beat like 38 Ninja Turtles games in like...
In 1 month?
Yeah.
Less than a month, I think.
I think it was like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
He posted those beat tweets, man. It was like 13 tweets a day of like the games he was beating.
And then someone even... Oh, yeah, I think it was because someone made an April Fool's video of like how to beat more games. And it's like, you ever got that person on your feed that's just like beating crazy amounts of games and you're like, oh, I'm lucky to beat one a month. And when he was saying that, it was like him scrolling his Twitter feed and it was my tweets. And it was someone I didn't subscribe to and someone's like, hey, check it out, man. And I was like, oh, I'm that guy. And then he goes, this is how you do it. And he goes, look on YouTube for something that's got low views, and then find the end screen, take a picture, boom, you beat that game. And I was like, damn, I wish it was that easy. I was just playing games like a son
That's
of a
how I
bitch.
beat Tyson?
Sure.
Awesome. I'll just fake it. I don't care.
Oh,
So Tony so back in the day, gamer just beat Mike Tyson's Punch Out by doing
Oh, call him out. You
Tony.
get the green screen out and just like Photoshop you in front of him in his beat tweet. And then
I'm pretty good at green screening.
And I'll make sure that it actually says like beat like a Mike Tyson's Punch Out playthrough at the top of the screen when I take the picture. And it has the progress bar on the bottom.
So yeah, that was it was fun to revisit. Some of them were fun, some were not. I
The fighting games.
I still don't like the Genesis and NES versions of the fighting game. It still sucks. Tournament Fighter still sucks.
Yeah.
I still don't like the first NES game. I can beat it, but I don't like beating it. So I don't think I'll ever need to play it again. I'll never play it again. I don't think. I got a trophy saying I beat it, and I got my beat last year on the original hardware. Fuck it forever. And speaking of stuff on original hardware,
Pretty much. I haven't touched it since I beat it.
yes.
Oh, I had to hear about goddamn astronauts forever, and I was like,
Fuck.
what astronauts? And they're like, these astronauts. I'm like, I'm sure they're not called astronauts.
No, I don't know what the fuck they're called.
It's called assholes.
Yeah.
But speaking of original hardware, there's this Super Nintendo game that never came out here. I was actually looking at getting a repro of it for quite a while until the pandemic hit, and I was like, I'm not ordering shit to sit across at the PO box.
Mhm.
And I'm glad I didn't get it because they released it on the Switch, and that's Live a Live.
Live.
I
Live
got
Alive.
that
Yeah.
too when it came out. Yeah.
I
haven't played it yet.
wanted to play this for a long ass time. It was on my short list of repros to get, and I just never got around to it. There's probably another 5 games that I still really want to get on that list, but happy to have that, and so excited to have it. It's still got the plastic on it, and I've had it for about a month.
Yeah, that's ours too.
Yeah.
If it was a PS4 game, I probably would have that beat already. But
If it was, if it
that's
would
just
have,
life. Yeah, I'm
If it
not a
would've
big
came out
fan
on
of the
the-
Switch. I'm not a
Scott
big
isn't
fan of the
either.
Switch.
Yeah.
I own it, and I've got the games that I need to get on it. And when I
Yeah.
get something on the Switch and it comes out on the PS4, I get mad. I was like, why wasn't
Yes.
it always on the PS4? Why
Yeah.
wasn't that always on? I got a couple games. I'm like, I would straight. I don't care if this was worth more on the Switch than the PS4. I'll straight up trade it for the
Yes.
PS4
That's
version.
us too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
we would
where
rather
you
have
want
it
to
on
play
the
it. Yeah.
PS4.
Oh, it's a portable system. Anywhere I'm going,
Oh,
I'm the
boy.
one driving, so I'm not playing it in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not portable.
And if I'm playing it in the hotel, I'll bring my PS4 and play it in the hotel. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So next up is actually a game my daughter really wanted to get. I was looking at it already, but it's In Nightmare. It's like
Yeah,
a
I played that
a
one.
little survival horror game.
Yeah.
It was in the cheap games at Walmart. So we looked at it. She
You know,
asked,
or you
like,
could just buy it full price
like,
like
"Oh."
I did.
she's like, I watched she's like, I watched a video on this. She's like, does this look cool? Do you have this? And I was like, no. But I was like, it's cheap enough that now we got it. So
It's not a bad game. There is some like frustrating parts in the game.
we'll play it together, I'm sure.
Yes.
Once we're done, It Takes Two, we're really, really close to the end of that. And we haven't played it. We haven't played it in a month. But
Yeah.
well, because my PS4 is always packed up to go to work, so she has to like ask me about it, and I'm like, oh yeah, we can play that.
Yeah.
And then there's another one I picked up. Speaking of not ever grabbing games just because they're worth a lot, but this was dirty cheap at Walmart, and I'm like, I don't know why, but for some reason, like even look on eBay, it's like $170.
Godzilla.
And it's the Dead by Daylight Nightmare Edition.
Really?
I have no idea why this game is so expensive. But
Is that Stranger Things?
yeah, it's got
Looks like
it's
it.
got all that DLC on disc. I'm pretty sure that must be why. I think everything that's been out, or at least up to this point, is on the disc. So that's got to be it. I even looked it up,
Maybe,
and I'm
yeah.
like, I don't know. But I have it for the Xbox, just the vanilla regular edition, and have yet to play it. I don't know. But I was like, well, while it's cheap, maybe I'll want to play this at some point.
Yeah.
I grabbed it. Just what the hell? But especially my daughter had a hand in that too. She's like, "Is that the Demogorgon?" And I was like,
Yeah.
we'll play it. And another one that I didn't grab all the stuff for it together, but I'm super happy finally showed up. The Castlevania Anniversary Collection Ultra Collector's Edition, whatever the hell it was. The big box is here. I'm not taking it out. I'll show you what matters. Came with a cool ass Castlevania pin. That's gonna
That
go.
is cool.
That's gonna get stuck in the wood back there somewhere. But of course, came with the game. Whoa, surprise! But for me, this was the selling point.
Yeah, that steelbook slut, yo.
Steelbook slut. It is beautiful.
I have to stay away from the steel books because it'll become a whole thing, and I can't.
When you get a steelbook.
I tried not to because I'm just afraid I'm gonna ding it up.
You gotta hashtag steelbook slut that shit. That's what I love.
I'm sure we have.
What really sold me on this collector's edition is this.
Oh, the shadow box.
The shadow box,
that's
light
really,
box,
really cool.
lights up. Oh, love it.
I just got my nipples went hard. I got
and it like it charges. It doesn't take batteries. It's weird.
Is it what?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Castlevania
You have to plug it in?
Maybe I lied. Maybe it does take batteries, but it also has an internal battery. I didn't realize that until I had it plugged in and accidentally hit it when I was unplugging it. So it's got an internal battery also. So,
Castlevania is the reason we started collecting vinyl.
awesome.
Yeah.
See, I had to stop collecting the vinyl because it was.
Yeah.
I was like, I can only collect so many things. You got the movies, you got the games, you got the Tron stuff. Something has to go.
Yes.
So I got rid of all my vinyl.
Oh, did you see we're very selective about what we pick up?
Yeah.
Have to be.
I'm getting that way with games, honestly, since COVID blew up the prices of
Yeah.
games.
You have to be.
I'm not really after classic stuff as much, and I'm just more picky in general because everything's going up in price.
It is.
That being said, I bought a shit ton of action figures that I said I was going to sell.
Like, this is a surrogate video game collection.
I apologize ahead of time, but we'll go quickly. So I wasn't expecting to grab this. When I saw the price on it, I said I'm not getting it. Then it showed up at my Walmart, but just one of it. And this is something that would come in a case of many. So I went and scanned it. Usually like I think it was a $78 item. And I was like, nah, I'm good. And it's the Coronation Starscream from
That's really cool.
from the 86 movie.
Hell
Love it.
yeah.
He's got a cape, he's got a crown, holy shit. And it's just Starscream.
They just need to make one that's all falling apart.
And he comes with this badass throne that I'm gonna use for many things, I'm sure. Had to have it, especially when I scanned that shit and it was $36. I was like, they didn't even get this.
Did you say this is bad comedy?
Yeah. It's been out for like a year in the States, and I was just like, oh, we're never gonna get it. And then it just showed up. I'm like, we didn't get it at all, then we just got one. So it's like, I know it's not gonna sell.
They got that one for you.
Yeah.
That's
They know, man.
I bought it on the spot.
They got you on camera.
I was not planning to buy anything that day. I was like, oh, it was on one of my I'm not collecting anything spells. And I was like, $36 for this $80 Transformer. Fuck your mama, I'm buying it. And then
you know what? That's when I go into the most amount of debt is when I was like, listen, we have to slow down on the collecting.
Yeah.
Maybe I should buy a Galaxy 3DS. I need that.
It never fails. It never fails. Say, okay, I'm not buying anything. I'm not doing anything for a month. The shit comes out of the woodwork. People start giving you stuff. People it's ridiculous. Just, I'm not buying. I'm not collecting nothing. And all of a sudden, all the deals. I said I'm done game collecting for at least 6 months. One time, that day, a random guy gave me a huge sack of GameCube games. I'm like, just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in. It's like the mafia, man. Anyway, so I buy that, and then next week they get them all in. They're $80. The shelf is stocked full of them. So I guess they got the sampler, and they're like, these will sell good.
Yeah, it came in that day, and it went back out that day.
I also had to get Ratchet.
Nice.
He's so ratchet.
It's from the best part of any of the live action Transformers movies. It's from that opening scene where they're all on Cybertron. I was like, I don't
from Bumblebee.
yeah, I was like, I don't really have a cool Ratchet, so I grabbed that. So happy to have that. That's it for Transformers. Now on to my next massive collection. Chris knows how big my collection of this is. I had to get a G.I. Joe figure. I had to get Storm Shadow for my Snake Eyes. So I'm assuming you guys don't know, but this is my massive G.I. Joe collection. I got Snake Eyes and I got Cobra Commander, and that's it. But I was like,
now you have Storm Shadow.
I need Storm Shadow to go with Snake Eyes. I just need that. And he was on sale, so I bought that shit. End of story.
I think I've got around 100 plus G.I. Joes.
Plus, I got you that cool thing last year.
Yeah.
I like G.I. Joe, but it's not.
Oh, the big aircraft carrier?
No, not that one. It was
No,
Mobile Command Center.
The mobile command center.
That retro toy shop down the street actually has that.
That's like the circular tower thing, right? Oh no, that's the. Never mind. I'm thinking of the Battle Dome or something, whatever it's called. Never mind. Yeah, I'm thinking of something totally different. It's that big tank.
I would have just
the
believed
hiss?
because I don't know.
No, the Mobile Command Center.
Mobile
like
Command Center is like the big brown one there that folds out like a toolbox almost.
Yeah.
It's got 3 levels on it.
Yeah, that's it. That shit's tight. I gotta say though, out of the things that I don't really collect, the G.I. Joe Classified series is the most tempting because the figures are so good in it.
Yeah.
But they're also made by Hasbro, so I know the prices are just gonna keep going up, like the next stuff I buy. So we'll just go right off the hop. Another animated Spider-Man series. I got the Lizard.
Cool.
I wasn't sold on this when I saw him online. I've got another Lizard from like a long time ago, and I think I always thought, yeah, that's good enough. I don't need another Lizard. This guy shows up at Walmart, and I'm like, you know what? He's a lot cooler in person, and he's got he comes with a classic head. I didn't keep it over here. He's it looks more like the Steve Ditko, like kind of like the 60s Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah.
And comics. So I was like, all right, yeah, okay, you sold me on it. And then another replacement that I absolutely needed, because Chris knows this was my least favorite figure when I opened all my figures. That's the Iron Spider-Man. I saw this guy and I'm like, all right, I'm done buying Hasbro stuff. They're jacking the prices like crazy. I sold my boxed version of this guy from, I think it was like 15 years ago. When I opened all my figures, I was, they all look cool in the package, but this one was absolute dog shit when I finally took him out. And I was like, he's way taller and lankier, like than even Spider-Man. I know Spider-Man's not the fucking biggest guy in the world, but this thing's just odd. It's like Slender Man dressed like Spider-Man. It's weird.
Oh, yeah.
So I could not wait to get this, and I was like, I don't care the price. So that was 30% off when I went to Target. Plus, I took the price of what I sold my extra of that figure for off, and I was like, all right, that's an acceptable price. I'm buying that shit. So happy to have that. And I immediately grabbed the other one off my shelf and threw it in the toy box that my boys play with out here. So and my son was like, Dad, look where'd this come from? And I was like, You're welcome. You're welcome. Just pretend like I made a big sacrifice, but I'm like, keep it over there. I don't like it. Speaking of another one I've been waiting a long time for, this fills out my Spider-Man main villains for my like separate Spider-Man display I've got. Finally got my Rhino.
Oh, nice.
I always like Rhino.
I needed him. I needed him so bad, and I finally got him in the mail. Seemed like everyone else I know that was expecting him got him like a month or two before me, but finally got him. So I've got a big setup of just like what I consider all of Spider-Man's main villains around him on this big diorama.
Nice.
And that was like one that was like an eyesore. I was just bugging me forever that he was missing. So I'm glad he's back. And then next was another one I just wasn't counting on getting, and then I had to get once I saw it. And that's Ragnarok. It might look like Thor, but if you look close, he's got red ass eyes because he's actually a cyborg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's made by Tony Stark. I think is
cool.
when Thor is not available enough, Tony Stark's not going to play that, and I don't care. I just he looks close enough.
That's what he called Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, he looks close enough to Thor, and I was like, I need this character. I missed out on the 80th anniversary Thor that looks basically identical to this with not red eyes, And I was like, I don't care. He's going to sit far enough back on the shelf that he looks like Thor with my Avengers. So happy to have him. Then I got a couple of these last episode, and I was like, oh, these are the only ones I really want for this wave. Because, they always got the Build-A-Figure. And I'm like, the Build-A-Figure is cool, but some of the figures are kind of lackluster. I don't think I'm going to go for all of them. So I grabbed Wolverine because I'm always going to buy Wolverine. I got Wolverines that look almost exactly the same. He's slightly different. And then I needed a Havoc. I needed a classic Havoc, so I had to have him. I like all his power things dripping off him. Look awesome. And I was like, that's all I really need from the wave. Then my buddy down the street, who is definitely an honorary enabler bro, goes, I just want to build a figure. I'll sell you these guys for like a third of the price of what I paid from them. So I got Sabretooth.
Nice.
Nice.
It's not my favorite Sabretooth, but I like Sabretooth enough that I was like, he can go with one of my million Wolverines. They could just set up. And then he sold me the couple ones I talked about last time. Then I go to Duluth for a stand-up comedy show, and I found the rest of these were 70% off. So I was like, I need all of them because now I'm building the Build-A-Figure. So I bought Darwin, never heard of him. Vulcan.
Oh, he was in X-Men First Class.
Yeah, not big on him.
I have to tell you. For
$6 instead of $40. Hell yeah, I needed that guy.
Yeah.
Have you ever? I'm listening to you talk about them, and I love it. And I'm like, I feel like he's like every infomercial I've ever watched. You can't pass up this deal. It's 70% off today, so you need to buy 5.
I walked into Target going like, this Target actually we went about a month ago. Not one Marvel figure in the entire store.
Oh,
so
man.
I was just like, I usually have my hopes up there, and then I wasn't expecting nothing. I go there and they're like, please, we're about to throw these out. And I was like, I'll take them.
Yeah.
So naturally, the ones that I bought for a third of the price, I actually got which was an excellent bro deal from my friend. I got a bro year deal from Target being like, hey man, we know we haven't been able to come here in 3 years. And I ended up buying the ones that I bought off him to get the Build-A-Figure parts. So I finally built this bastard. We got Bone Crusher. And I only decided I really need this guy because I was like, I kind of want to do a setup from the Punisher arcade game because he was one of the bosses in it. And he's straight up silly. I remember seeing the figure of this guy back in the day in like the X-Men animated series figures and been like, why would you just be like, yeah, tanks. I just need a tank for legs. I don't need legs, whatever. I realize how ridiculous he is, but I was like, once I put him together, I'm like, this is actually a pretty kick-ass figure. I don't regret it at all. Speaking of which, one I went way out of my way for and was so mad I couldn't find it anywhere, and it was going for stupid prices anywhere that wasn't a specialty store. I finally got the comic version of Doctor Strange.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
I absolutely need this. So when I started collecting the Marvel figures heavy again, my rule was like, I want the comic versions of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The comic versions are forever. The movie versions are only as long as that actor feels like playing them.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. So I was like, no MCU. Then my son started picking them up. So I'm like, all right, a couple MCUs, okay. So now it's all over the place. But I needed this guy. This guy was absolutely like, I don't know. He looks exactly like he looks in the animated series of Spider-Man 2. So I was like, gotta have him. And this one ought to make Chris's shirt happy. The first thing I grabbed when I went in Target was this NECA Robocop. Gotta have it.
Does he shoot people in the dick?
He shoots everyone.
Not me.
I wanted to put, yeah. Anyone that's not getting shot in the dick, he's calling a crisis center for them. But, so I'm setting this up just to take, when I open everything up, I was just setting it up. And then I realized there's
I don't know why that's the first thing that always pops into my head when I see RoboCop.
especially since that clip I send every time RoboCop's even in the conversation of that
video.
Yeah, the RoboCop remake where it's just guys jumping over fences with their dicks out, and
He's just
shooting like 40 dicks. He shoots 40 dicks. It's the best movie scene that's ever been remade. And then I'm like setting this guy up, and I notice there's a button on the back of his leg, and I push it.
Oh, please tell me it does what I think it does.
The motherfucker's leg opens up so you can put his gun in it.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
Hallelujah. Because I remember having RoboCop toys when I was a kid, and it always bugged me. I'm like, even be lazy and have a little hinge. You can open it, it clips in, whatever. This shit is mechanical. I don't really want to do it right now because it's kind of a trick to get it back in, but trust me, that shit is worth it. But I know NECA's track record, and they make beautiful figures, really screen accurate, but
they break easy.
Don't bend or move them too quickly, too much, because they are like brittle. So I'm happy to finally have a RoboCop in the collection. I really needed something like that, especially with all the Terminators I got. We could finally have a Terminator versus RoboCop photo shoot.
I approve.
There's only a couple figures left, I promise. We gotta show that I like Batman also. And I got Infected Batman from the McFarlane series. Had to have that. That's so metal. Yeah, especially for Halloween. That's like that's the most Halloween looking Batman I've ever seen. Besides
Death Metal Batman.
Besides this other Batman I've got. It's I don't know if it's showing up on your guys' screens, but he's got like kind of like a greeny gray to him.
Yeah.
And just the texture and like the detail on his cape. Like I've got 40-something McFarlane Batmans. I think this might be my like favorite Batman.
Wow.
Yeah.
That Batman did not miss leg day at the gym.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Legs
he's
all
got
day.
He's got extra calf muscle, or was that? No, that's not calf.
Quads.
Whatever.
Yeah.
He's got extra quad muscles for someone who didn't bring any to make it a fair fight. Yeah. He's bulging in the wrong part of his pants, but whatever. It's almost like he's wearing hammer pants, but it's I love
Yeah. Do the dance over here. Just do the dance.
What keeps me buying these figures
He's too legit to quit.
is that they're almost half the price of a Marvel figure, and the amount of detail on them is just spectacular.
Nice.
I bought this on a trip where I said I was buying absolutely nothing, and then my wife goes,
Every story starts with that.
You've been driving us around. We went to Winnipeg for a weekend. And I said, I'm not
Was it 70% off?
No, it was full price.
Okay.
My wife said, this is the second time we went in this GameStop. My son wanted to go back in because he wanted to get something. And my wife goes, get something, or I'm just going to find something and buy it for you. She's like, you've been driving us around the city for like 2.5 days. You haven't picked up or looked at anything. Get something, god damn it. So I was like,
okay.
I kind of got to have this giant Killer Croc figure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was on the lookout for this guy. Then I saw him, and it broke my heart that I saw him because I was kind of hoping they'd just be all out. So yeah, it's from the Arkham Asylum.
Nice.
Is that the one that I was sending you the pictures of?
No, I think you were sending me.
Oh, the big
Titan,
Joker monster.
The Titan Joker that I have paid for, but the site hasn't sent me yet, even though they've got it in stock. Because yeah, that's a whole thing I could bitch about all day. But yeah, super happy that she's like, get that. So I got that Batman and I was like, all right, I'm good. I'm not getting anything. I was still under $100, so I was happy. That's like spending no money to me. It's like, oh, I barely spent $100. That's good. We're good. It wasn't $800.
That's every time we go into the pawn shop. We're like, we spent less than $100. We're fine.
It's like I didn't even break my rule. Well, that Batman came with this comic, which is where he's from.
Nice.
This Black Adam. It's weird because there's like 4 figures in this series, and they all come with the same issue of this comic, which I think kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Since it doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure, it should have like a 4-part story, and then you get all the parts of the story. But that's just me. I don't know. Who am I to question the great Todd McFarlane? I know last episode, I believe losing my voice.
Yeah, tell Todd McFarlane to get his off his ass and make that Spawn movie already.
Yeah, so last episode, I'd just gotten a bunch of comics where I spoke about them doing the variant covers to kind of
with the Predators, yeah.
So there's like the Iron Man I got with Predator last time, and Avengers where Blade's fighting Predator on the cover, and I finally got the rest of the ones that I ordered in. I'm only missing 2 that I think because one's in the mail and the other one hasn't been released yet. But I got Amazing Spider-Man with Spidey, the Predator there.
Nice.
I immediately after I saw these 2 in the comic shop was like, what other ones are there? And I just eBay. This is the first thing I bought on eBay in like 2 years, and then I got this one. This one's probably my favorite.
Oh, that's
I love that.
That's cool.
So lucky enough that there's 2 Spider-Man ones. Then I had to have my boy Wolverine fighting. That just seems like a no-brainer. And I wish these stories included the Predator, but they're just variant covers to kind of because the Predator comic was coming out, so they kind of did a variant cover with to kind of I don't know advertise it, I suppose. And then we got the X-Men. This is actually my least favorite one. I'm kind of on the fence about it. It's all the X-Men fighting a bunch of Predators. Just the art style is not really
The art style
my favorite.
looks shitty.
Especially
yeah.
Beast looks like I don't know, man. Look at Beast on that shit. Ugly. But it's X-Men, so I gotta have it. This next one, I don't know if it's for my wife or if it's for me, but it's my wife's favorite character. So it's Spider-Woman fighting a Predator. That's just a cool cover. Love that.
Nice.
And then I realized somehow I missed that when the Alien series started 2 years ago. Of course, they had a Spider-Man Alien cover. So I was like, wow,
cool.
well, I'm at it. I'm gonna have to get that. There's a Wolverine one where Wolverine's naturally putting his claws right through a xenomorph's head, and I got to get that one. But of course, that one's since it's a couple years old, it's jacked up in price now.
Yeah.
And my very last pickup before you guys fall asleep. If you start falling asleep, I'll just read you a story out of this. But I finally got the last Ronin.
Nice.
Nice.
The hardcover. It was going for like a ridiculous price. It was 70% off, guys. I was looking. I think it was when I was looking these up. No, it was before.
Can you
that.
just make that the title of the show? It was 70% off.
This episode,
Guys.
this episode's undertitle is 70% off.
Do you know what? Andy Pac-Man Case sent me a message. Just that. She's like, look what I got.
Yeah.
Look what I got.
70% off.
Because we have been talking about it.
Yeah, like
I read the series.
I wanted it, and I was actually waiting for like a soft cover because the soft covers are like half the price of the hardcover.
Yeah.
But Amazon was like, check this shit out while you're looking at random Marvel figures. I was like, I do like that shit.
So Amazon is technically another enabler, brother.
Yeah, it was I think it was like 60% off, maybe not 70, but it was like really cheap. And I was like, all right,
That's false advertising, sir.
I'll get it right now. But yeah, it was a ridiculous amount off, and I was like, something wrong with it? I know I've heard nothing but good stuff, and I've been really wanting to check it out. So
I enjoyed it.
yeah, and it's been that book where I'm like, yeah, I'll bring that to work and I'll read it. And then every time I get to work, and when I have a shift where I could potentially read it, I'm like, fuck, I forgot it again. So
Video games.
it's because it's been in my pickup pile to talk about for over a month. But
Yeah.
now I've talked about it, I can put it in my backpack to go to work. And that's it, guys.
We did it.
Now that I almost lost my voice, I think we should
Welcome to me after every stream I do.
we should bring it back to video games. We should bring it back to video games real quick.
Yeah, I say. Yeah.
Backlog Roulette.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Backlog Roulette, for those who don't know, is you take a list with 0, 00, and 1 to 36 of games or something you need to read, movies you need to watch. You put them on a list.
Oh.
I spin the wheel, and it picks what we're going to play or watch or read. Whatever you want to use it for.
While you were so politely explaining to everybody, my husband's like, you only have 0, 00, and 32. And I'm like, hey, look,
Stuck
to
away
the
over the
side,
corner.
right over in the corner. On the top of the page to the side are the last 4.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that you guys are participating.
Stop
This is gonna be
drifting.
awesome.
Come this way.
Well,
And
so
I've
she-
read for those who watched last episode and saw my blunder where I hadn't updated my list and I had already beaten and played that game and forgot. Rest assured that I've got a new list, revamped. None of these games I've played before or beat at least. So without further ado,
Well, what game did you get last time?
last time I got actually
Well, you got
Alien
Heavenly
Trilogy.
Guardian.
Oh, nice.
Greatest hits. I know. Avert your eyes. Oh yeah. the price I got it for at MGC, I was buying it. I was like, oh, I was holding out for a black label, but it was like way cheaper than it needed to be, even at a convention. So whatever. But I gotta say, that's probably my favorite Doom clone. Now
Nice.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Excellent. I mean, add aliens to pretty much anything, it's going to enhance the experience as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, excellent game. It's not too long. It's actually a lot of. I thought I was going to play through the story of all 3 games when it's called Alien Trilogy or all 3 movies. It's not, but it's definitely more fun than Alien Resurrection, the game. So there's that.
There you go.
And what did you get, Chris?
Last time I got, well, my list was correct. And I got Kirby's Dream Land, and I beat this on my first ever playthrough.
Nice.
Like I beat it within like 30 minutes.
It's a short game, yeah.
It is very short, and it's very easy. The only problem I had was when I was fighting DDD at the end, trying to figure out exactly what it was I could use as a weapon against him. And then I just randomly happened to be sucking something in when he like hit the ground and one of his little stars shot out. And I was like, oh, that.
Nice.
So, yeah, I liked it a lot. It's a lot of fun. Like, it's just a little short, sweet platformer.
I'm excited because this is probably, I believe, the second time ever that we've both played, both enjoyed, and both beat our game.
I didn't enjoy the other one.
So the first time we've ever
Assassin's
both.
Creed.
Okay, this is the first time we've gotten the trifecta. Yeah, because it was
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we both dogged on it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, it's fun for the first like hour. Then you realize you're just repeating yourself.
Yeah.
What
10
game?
hours.
Assassin's Creed.
The very first
Oh.
Assassin's Creed, where I was like, I was like, man, this game's great. And then all of a sudden you go to the next area and you're like, oh, I'm doing that same thing again. Oh, I'm doing it again for a third, fourth time.
Oh, I got to go back to the first area and do it all over again.
And then I regretted it because by the time I played it, I already had like all of 5 games up till number 3 or 4 or 5 games, whatever it was. Yeah, Brotherhood and whatever
Rogue.
that other one. Yeah, no, Brotherhood and Revelations. So 1, 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, and 3, and I'm like, oh shit, I think I fucked up because this game is terrible. And then I played 2 and like was able to like breathe a sigh of relief, like, oh, this is what the first one was trying to do. Okay, so I'm glad they gave him another try at another stab at it.
Well, I remember what my complaint was. I was like, this game is so good, they gave it a sequel.
Yeah, they must have had both.
Let alone 12 of them or 13 of them or how many they are now.
Yeah. There's a
Yeah, this spawned a franchise. It's like, no.
Yeah.
But because you did your second roll to make up for the game that you had already played, I did the same thing. I played the game corresponding to my list.
Shit.
For that, and that was...
I didn't know you did this.
Yeah. That was Coffee Crisis on the Genesis.
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
What the hell is that?
How was that?
It's a post... like, what do they call it? Like an aftermarket game?
Yeah.
It's a beat-em-up that revolves around these kids that work at a coffee shop, and I only played it for about 20 minutes because it is terrible.
Oh.
That sucks. But at least you tried.
It has the worst mechanics for fighting I've ever played. Like the hitboxes on the characters and yourself are terrible.
In
Like
my
you
mind,
think
it
you're
was gonna
hitting,
be
but you're not even. You're just
post-apocalyptic
whiffing, and then they come up from
zombies.
behind and hit you in the ass. No.
I've been making all the coffee shop reference I could while playing it, and then, well, not even fun. Coffee, yes, have some. Then just, like, punching me in the face.
So at least I tried, but like I played it for 20 minutes. So I'm like, I'm not playing this anymore.
I'm just happy that you tried it. You might not have played it for a while if you hadn't.
Mhm.
So there's that. So without further ado, I'm gonna get my camera ready and maybe we'll do a spin. Hopefully we're both as lucky this time again. And got your
I'm
list
nervous.
ready. Oh, as long as it comes up video games, you should be good.
Yeah, I hope I get games.
That's always what we hope for around here. This mushroom's really excited you. Oh my god, guys! It came up 70% off. We got number 27.
Cool.
Oh, why did I put PS1 there? Because I know
No,
damn well
PS1.
it's not a PS1 game.
All right, what'd you guys get?
I'm gonna get mine. It's right here.
Perfect. Well, Chris, in the meantime, what did you get?
Okay, let me just say,
Ooh,
Nice.
you got some work to put in, buddy.
You
shit.
better work.
You might. I might have to tuck you off a ledge too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if you come to my house and play that game, Scott will drink every time you die.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to be responsible for your husband's death.
Nice
Yeah.
knowing you, Scott.
Yeah. I have a high tolerance, but I do have limits.
I just wanted it to be any other game but Alien Isolation because being stalked by the alien scares the shit out of me. Instead, I'm going to be stalked by something on Remothered Broken Porcelain.
Nice.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Nice.
I played Tormented Fathers and I really enjoyed it, but it scared me because you're constantly being stalked.
You don't fight back.
Yeah.
You gotta hide.
Oh,
Yeah.
kind of like Outlast.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna see if my
That's
underwear can
great.
outlast this game.
Sweet. Well,
Yeah.
I'm excited for mine. I'm playing Shadow Hearts.
Ooh,
Oh.
nice.
Yeah. So that's pretty sweet.
How long is
I've
that?
started-
Like 8 hours?
I didn't look this one up making my list. I didn't take that kind of time, but
I always thought Shadow Hearts was an RPG.
It is.
yeah,
It
I don't
is.
care. I know I've played a
Like-
bit of it.
like, I don't
but
fuck
I've never
around.
beat it. I've never beat it. I got a
You'll
penance
only
to
beat
pay
20
after-
games this month then. Fine.
I know I've played it, but I don't think I've ever beat it, so it's good. It's a fun. I already know it's fun, but I basically was just like, all right, there's other games in the series. I own 2 of it. Am I spending the money to get that 3rd one? I played enough of it, and I was like, all right, yeah, this kicks ass. So I'm happy. Look forward to it, and it's it's like a horror theme to it too. So
Are all of us happy?
I don't
Did
have.
you notice that we all got like horror themed games in ours?
Yeah, I don't.
That's
Okay,
freaking
yeah.
awesome.
I think what's holding me off of playing this for so long though is because I don't have Kodelka, and I know it's kind of like an earlier one of it.
That was on my list.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I used to have that back in the day.
I missed it. Nintendo was actually selling a copy for a good price, and I missed it by about 10 minutes. On the post.
Oh no.
So I told him if you ever sell it for that price again, I'll
I
let
don't
you
know
know.
where I got Kodelka. Did
I think
I
it was like,
seek
I think
that
it was
out?
like
Just
$40
seeked
or
it
something he was selling it for, and I got an extra or something, and I was like,
We paid.
yes. So that sucks. But then again, he sent me the disc for the Castlevania Chronicles so I could complete my case that I just
Oh,
had.
nice.
Nice.
So I was like, where am I going to find just a disc of this game in good shape?
Mhm.
Nintendo to the rescue. So I didn't hold it against him that I didn't buy that
That's
game.
my
off him,
bro.
But he somehow made up for it anyway. So that was good. He's a friend. He's a friend of it.
Yeah, he's good.
We've done a couple of trades. So that's good. Too bad he lives like on the complete opposite side of the country.
Yeah.
Or else it'd be cool to meet him up at a convention or something. So nice. I'm excited. I got something Halloween themed to play. And I'm also playing through the Telltale Walking Dead for the Cartridge Club
Yep,
again
same here.
this
That
month.
was on my list.
So I've played the first 2 seasons previously, and I got to say I'm kind of pissed off because I got the definitive collection.
Mhm.
And if you buy the seasons separately, there's a platinum for each one of them. Whereas this definitive thing just has the 1 platinum for all 5.
Let's be honest, I wasn't going to get the platinum anyway, so I got
Bullshit.
the definitive one.
Well,
That
To be fair,
I feel your
they're
pain.
unmissable. To be fair, they're unmissable. You play through the thing, you get it. There's not
Oh.
collect 50 of it. It's literally just like a choose your own adventure with some
Okay.
light puzzle solving and you choose how you treat people. Sometimes you pick who you save. They're both getting attacked by zombies. Who do I go for? Kind of thing. And then there's like very small encounters where you have to be like aim the reticule and hit a button, and that's all you really got to do. But I highly recommend checking this out.
Yeah.
Maybe after your game we get it. I recommend, like, at least the first season is amazing. The whole game is great.
I need to play it.
But
I
if you,
think I had played some like Telltale series, or like that was all I was capable of playing when I first started. So once
Okay.
I really got used to using dual analog, I wanted to play anything but that. But then I hear people talk about it, and I'm like, I would love that.
It's a
I
really,
played the Back
really-
of the Future one before.
I have
Yeah.
I have all of them, and I've played a couple, and they're a game you definitely need to be in a mood for.
Yeah.
Like you got to be in the mood to watch the dialogue because you can't skip through the dialogue and you all that. But the story is so good that you have to play this game at some point. So if you
I
have
will,
not,
for sure.
I played the Game of Thrones game of theirs. I played the first 2 seasons of Walking Dead. I played both seasons of their Batman game.
Do we have
I
the
don't-
Batman?
I've got
Nope.
all of them.
There's Guardians of the Galaxy. There's the werewolf one.
Yeah, Back to the
We've
Future.
got
Yeah.
the
There's a Borderlands
Jurassic-
one.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
Oh.
Borderlands. They did a Borderlands one.
Mhm.
Tales
I have
from
the Jurassic Park one for the 360.
Yeah, I've got them all installed on my Xbox One, and I'm kind of thinking like each season's 1,000 gamer score, so I'm like that boosts my gamer score like crazy rather than one
Mhm.
platinum on the PS4. But I'm like, but I did pay $40 for the collection, so I think I should just stick it out. But yeah, I'm definitely excited. So hopefully everyone that participated got an awesome game to play, and yeah, and I just chucked that extra recommend in there too. Check out the Telltale Walking Dead. And well, I guess we've kept you long enough. It's probably everyone's bedtime now. And if you stuck around long enough and hung out with us, I appreciate you sticking around, and I appreciate you guys joining us.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Thanks for having us.
This was a lot of fun. It was good to meet and get to interact with you guys. I've been watching your
Yeah.
videos for.
Yeah, it's been a while since we talked. So
I know.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
It's cool. So I made some new friends today. That's pretty cool, guys. Unless your game sucks. If your game sucks and you get mad at it, you probably won't last.
No,
Like,
you know what? I
that
didn't play
dickhead
this
made us
last
play
year.
this.
I didn't play this last year for a reason because I heard
It came out broken. Yeah.
remother broken porcelain was broken. So I'm confident it's fixed. I bought it day one and paid full price. So I'm gonna play it now.
Yeah.
Kind of like I did with most of the games I bought.
Don't you love the feeling when you buy something at full price and by the time you actually play it, it's in like the discount bin? You're like,
Yep.
I could have saved $75
Yep.
on it.
I still haven't played.
There's a whole
Oh, fuck
shelf
yeah.
of them
We
there.
could-
That's why we do this backlog roulette, because
Yeah.
we were buying games at a far greater pace than we'd ever play them. So I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
we made a specific rule for ourselves. Was we're like, it's hard enough to keep up with the modern games. We're still buying retro games and never playing them because we're like, oh, I got to play this 40-hour long, open world game because every game has to be like a 40-hour game now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're like, that's where I came up with the concept of this. Is like, this will keep us playing old games. So we go last 2 gens ago now, I guess.
Oh, okay.
2 gens ago and down was what our own kind of like spin we put on it. But it's adaptable to pretty much anything. That's what I love about it.
Oh yeah. I tried to like pick something from every console, every generation. I even have some handhelds on here. Like I tried to diversify as much as I could.
Yeah, it's funny that I find when I'm looking at a console though, I'm like, oh shit, I got to move on. So I got stuff from like the beginning of the alphabet where it's really obvious. Where I was like, I was finding too many PS2 games, and I just went, nope, fuck it, 360.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I was trying to spread it out and diversify with different consoles, and I was like, shit. Yeah, I get caught up. There's too many games I got.
There's too many good games.
I'm gonna keep buying them. Like I'm gonna be able to play all these games in my lifetime. But at least I find the roulette helps a lot because when I've got if I've got a console up that I got to hook up, while I've got it out, I'll just keep tossing other games into it too. So
yeah,
kind of just enables more fucking stuff off the stack. At least I've played it. I can say
That's our name.
That's how we do it.
Bringing it full circle.
There we go. What a perfect ribbon to tie on this perfect episode. Thanks again for joining us, guys. Thanks for joining us at home. Catch you guys next time. Bye.
Hasta la vista, baby.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.